Is this a werewolf, a cryptid, or something else? Redditor Twist of Fate 666 shares this creepy video of a mysterious creature in the darkness. Watch closely and tell me what you think. I think I'd run for the hills if I saw this in my backyard, but Redditors have many different takes. It looks like a demon at this angle, but still others think it's something natural. Is this an elephant or a four-legged stilts Halloween costume, as some Redditors are suggesting? Or, like the uploader thinks, could this be a werewolf? There are so many options that I feel I'm leaving this guessing game with more questions than answers. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Havoc Nova, this Redditor wrote, "Walked into my office to start my workday and found this, and I can see exactly what he's talking about. Something is up with that cool Scarface poster. It's like an invisible hand is rocking the poster back and forth. Even when the Redditor tries to steady the poster, it continues to move. Well, some people like myself are first jumping to this office being haunted. Not everyone is convinced." Laundry Ghosty wrote in the comments, "You need insulation in your walls. There's a small hole allowing a breezeway from the exterior wall to form. This phenomenon happened in our current house. It turned out it's because the insulation that was blown into the walls 30 years ago needed repairs and replacing. So what do you think? Is this office actually haunted? Or are these walls just in need of some more insulation?"
Who's doing this?
This submission comes from my new subreddit, where you can post whatever bizarre things you come across in your everyday life. It's reddit.com/r/chillsnarrator if you want to check it out. Lost Cosmonaut 01 says that he has been dealing with paranormal stuff ever since he was a child. Apparently, spirits have always taken an interest in him. Anyway, he lives alone, and one night he managed to take a picture of this possible ghost sighting in his basement. What interests me is that this streak of light highly resembles whatever was shown in number 4. If anyone has an explanation besides the paranormal as to how this could have been caused, then please let me know, and be sure to keep your submissions coming. A YouTuber who goes by Anne posted this video back in 2014 of her sleepwalking activity at night. Using a webcam, she is able to record herself night after night jolting up while still being completely asleep. People have debated the authenticity of this video in the comments, but Anne swears she still does this every night to this day. I genuinely believe this footage is real, because sleepwalking is a well-documented behavior. Anne says she finds the footage hilarious, but there's something certainly chilling about that blank stare directly into the camera, as she's 100% asleep. What would you do if the ghost that's haunting your house doesn't want to share it with you? Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. This Redditor writes, "Threw this edit together of me being haunted and I'm terrified." In the beginning of the clip, Mossy asks the spirit if he can please enter his room, and the door swings closed. We'll take that as a no. He hurries to open it and reveals that there's no one behind it or inside, as he mentions that his fan is turned off on its own. The fan flings itself from the table beside his bed. Lastly, he turns on his piano keyboard and asks the spirit to play a song. The spirit obliges, pressing a few random keys. Is this a harmless haunting, or is something more evil at play? Redditor Bestia Hermosa advises that the Redditor sweep everything out of this house. She writes, "When you come back into your home, close the door behind you without looking back, outside your door in order to have any bad juju stay out, and no unwelcoming entities in your home. We hope Bestia's advice works. This spirit doesn't seem like he's interested in welcoming the living."
Alright guys, I just got a call about an abandoned National Guard armory.
Movement was detected on a motion alarm system, and now a safety officer named Beam 32 Getsum tries to convince himself that he's not scared as he approaches a building known to be very scary and haunted.
And now some people around here say that it's haunted and blah blah blah blah blah. I don't think it's haunted. You know, that's just stuff that scary people say. It's not haunted.
He almost successfully calms himself down until he gets to the entrance and finds the door wide open.
We're going in. Oh God, please don't let me die. Please make yourself known. Do not jump out. Thought I heard something.
He knows he's in trouble when his flashlight begins flickering while he walks down a long dark hall, a classic sign of the paranormal rapidly draining his equipment of the battery life.
Brockton 306 to dispatch. What the f*** is going on? Yo, what's going on with my light?
He steps into a well-lit hall and waits for backup when the paranormal strangeness ramps up, and it's all caught on video.
I need you to send me additional units. Where are my additional units? Citizens. He ain't going out somewhere.
The lights in the hallway turn off and on, much like his flashlight was doing. He runs into an actual police car at the end, so I think there might have been real paranormal activity caught on camera at this haunted building. Remember when you were younger and you heard the twinkling song of the ice cream truck calling all the neighborhood out for a sweet treat? Well, would you have come running if it had sounded like this? YouTuber Sean Bob Guy published this clip in June of 2008, writing that this demonic ice cream van shows up every single day at his apartment complex. The thing always scares his cat. The cat is probably not the only one with hair on end. Usually parents tell their kids if strangers offer candy to run like heck, particularly strangers in white creepy vans. Well, this scenario isn't too far off. The ice cream truck's tune sounds nothing short of creepy, giving it a distinct horror movie vibe. You know, the warbling song right before Chucky pops out and takes a life. You can almost expect the clown from It to be serving up soft serves from this truck. Probably not the most inviting image. To add to the creepiness, the vehicle isn't even a truck but is literally a white van driving very slowly through a neighborhood to lure passersby. And at the end of the video, it seems one is lured as a person comes running over to order from the creepiest ice cream van ever. YouTuber Lynn writes in the comments, "If animals act weird around this sort of thing, it's definitely haunted." The rat nest adds, "And the people who posted this were never seen again." One thing's for sure, this evil tune should never exist. You expect to come across witches at night, but in the broad light of day, somehow that's even scarier. Published in July of 2019, this video purports to show a witch spotted in Mexican ruins. A man is shown exploring the ruins. Little does he know, over his left shoulder, at a short distance glides the shadow of a witch. At first the men are oblivious, but as they turn around and walk back towards the entrance, the figure appears again, this time not lurking in the shadows, but rather in the light of day. The men are aware of its presence this time, and as they start to exclaim, the witch takes flight, up and away, hopefully as far away as humanly possible. The video is certainly blurry, which makes determining what this figure actually is quite difficult. This creepy and unexplained video has been unsettling people since 2016. It starts with a man who looks like he is just goofing around at first by making a weird voice and singing loudly. His mannerisms become more bizarre and aggressive, until finally he is shrieking like a wild animal and destroying the whole room. When he regains his composure and lowers the blinds, you can see that he is standing in the middle of a children's room. There's no sounds of a child though, which makes me wonder if there ever was one to begin with, or if it's been somehow silenced.
Oh my god.
Richard Griebnick recorded this creature from inside his home over the summer of 2017. He is on the phone calling a friend named Mike for help while a large, hunched-over white humanoid prowls around his backyard. The gargoyle, as Richard describes it, seems to sniff the air from time to time, almost as if it can detect someone's presence nearby. It certainly has the build of a predator, but for some reason it seems hesitant to move forward. If you were wondering why Richard would call his friend instead of the police, I was thinking the same question, but soon it becomes clear that Mike knows how to handle this situation better than anyone. The humanoid creature convulses as Mike unleashes a string of words in an ancient-sounding language I have never heard before. If you recognize what is being said here and can translate, please let me know. After Mike is finished speaking, the creature sulks off into the forest where it came from. The event looks very convincing, but I wish that Richard could have zoomed in a little more so we could have gotten a closer look. If this is real though, then he was probably way too scared to worry about camera work, so I definitely understand and still fully appreciate what he was able to record. A YouTube channel called Good Cemeteries Gone Bad captures this scraggly sighting in broad daylight while investigating the Anclote Cemetery in Florida. They wanted to know if this was a spider web or a spirit, and I know that different spiders make different looking webs, but I have to say this looks like no spider web that I have ever seen before around where I live. Plus, look at the way it simply disappears upon hitting the light. That's not normal. So if you live in Florida, please let us know if this looks like any of the webs in your area, because I'm inclined to say that this is the paranormal at work. Would you have the courage to enter a home in which a horrific event took place? That's how the police described this poor lady's passing. Published in January of 2022. The Ouija brothers head inside one of England's most haunted abandoned homes, in which a woman is said to have had her life taken using a device to speak with the spirit. The guys ask what her name is. Her answer gives me chills.
Could you tell us your name?
Blood.
Blood? Blood then. It's a bit of a funny name, isn't it? Remember that, like that lady? Yes, Blood.
Then, as a cameraman is backing out of a room, they capture a strange hissing noise.
I ain't going in there, man, because they'll make me ill for days.
Later, they're in another room when out the door, they see a light. It starts getting brighter, and then they hear something clatter.
Look, mate, can you see it getting brighter? It is. Oh. Hold on. Okay, mate, hold on.
Is this the ghost of the woman whose life was taken in this home? Or, as Sue suggests in the comments, did the events of this poor lady's life imprint on the house? YouTuber Lloyd's House of Horrors believes his son and daughter have seen a ghost.
Hello guys, I'm here with my kids and I'm in the room and they called me and told me that they seen something. Where did you see it, Nia? What? Where, in the washroom? What, you gonna show me?
Yeah.
Okay, come show me this, huh?
One of his kids leads him to the washroom, and when he does, this happens.
And here.
Okay, show me. Oh, holy! Nazir!
Did the ghost just imprison Lloyd's son? While watching this clip over again, I noticed there seems to be something behind the door at this point.
The washing
The door appears to rebound a bit when the boy opens it wider. Whether what's behind it is a ghost or a person is anyone's guess though. When Reactor 4 burst at Chernobyl in 1986, a 10-kilometer exclusion zone was formed and thereafter was increased to 30 kilometers. The initial steam blast resulted in 2 passed away, while a further 28 passed within months of exposure. These numbers do not even touch upon the total passing toll caused by radiation, and they also don't touch upon the mutations in humans or animals in the area, which brings us to this footage published in March of 2014. The uploader states that the video is filmed at Chernobyl power plants. A close-up of an animal in the area appears to show a headless form on 4 legs running across the railroad tracks. It almost looks like a headless deer. Some in the comments say that it looks like a large deer with the face of a rabbit, or a moose with a twisted neck, and still others say the creature appears as though its neck is deformed and bending towards the opposite side. Mutant or not, kinda makes you wonder what other nightmare creatures are lurking in the area. The news is pretty boring until something totally unexpected like this happens, and you'll never guess what it is. 2 anchors are having a chat when their background gets bizarre.
It's not been very because it's looked after by a fantastic medical team, fantastic consultants and nurses.
Ordinarily, I would say this is 2 different shots edited together. However, the crowd seems to stay the same as the man disappears. At 4 seconds, you can see the individual is crossing from left to right. They come out from the column soon after the man disappears, which indicates this was all one continuous take. Have you ever come across a haunted playground at night? This YouTuber has. He describes this perfectly chilling nightmare fuel with even more chilling imagery writing. While driving around in some unknown forest, I found this person rocking on some kind of swing. That description alone is enough to send chills down your spine, but watch the video and you won't be able to get this nightmare out of your head as the person filming sits inside his vehicle, shutting the headlights off and on again at random. The person rocking on some kind of swing is caught in the headlights. When the lights shut off, the next time they shine, the figure is in a different area of the forest. Its disappearance and reappearance are completely unsettling, especially when the figure comes closer and closer and closer until he disappears. Somehow his absence is the most upsetting part of the entire clip. That is, until... And that's where this video ends, leaving us wondering what happened to this unfortunate cameraman. For some reason, there's nothing scarier than a grown human crawling. Currently trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community, this video was shared by YouTube channel blah blah. The footage captures an uncanny humanoid figure in a dark room at the end of the hall. Get ready to hide in the comments. That thing looks like Gollum on steroids. Would you survive this heart attack? Don't worry, you don't have to. This video is an animation. Its original source is artist Max Verheyen. I've gotta admit, I'm impressed with his skills, but with the nightmares this is gonna give me, I wish I'd never seen them. If you think you're safe in your own home, think again. Posted by Call Me Ace here to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the Redditor explains, this is a video of a random guy walking up to my brother's home in Houston, Texas. The stranger flashed their flashlight through my brother's front door window and camera. The video shows a man possibly casing the place. If that is what he's doing, he isn't taking many precautions, as he's not wearing a mask of any kind to hide his identity, nor does he take any notice at first of the security camera that's caught him red-handed. If he was trying to fly under the radar, he's doing a terrible job at it. Not only does he flash a flashlight directly into the potential target's home, but he looks squarely into the security camera, capturing his headshot straight on, right before shining the flashlight into the camera's face too. Redditor Stark Burrito asks, was he pointing the flashlight into the camera to obscure himself? Bit late, buddy. Other Redditors recommended that the homeowner alert other neighbors to the incident, as well as the neighborhood watch and local authorities. It might prevent the unknown person from taking this further. While you may not have to worry about those you know entering into your home, you should definitely worry about randos. A woman feels sorry for her cat because it recently lost its best friend. She begins recording a Snapchat after she notices her cat is meowing, like it's looking for its companion, and feels sorry for the little guy. That's when she accidentally records something terrifying. The head of a shadow figure peeks out from the foot of her bed just before her Snapchat ends. Her only remaining cat is all white, so that's not it, and nobody else is in the house with her. The size of this shadow figure's head looks small, more like an animal than a person, so maybe this was the cat she recently lost, which happens to be a black cat, by the way. To me, it looks like it wants to climb into bed with her, just like it always has, and perhaps the other cat was meowing not out of loneliness, but because its friend is back again. Seeing how she claims to have felt watched all week, I'd say it's a strong possibility. This church is apparently haunted. YouTube team Signs and Signals returned to an abandoned church that's haunted them since one of their first paranormal investigations. First, they head to the cemetery to recall where they saw this.
And yep, right over there.
Went straight to that bush.
It looks like an extra large bat, maybe a vampire mid-transformation. As they're checking around the bush, they hear something come from the church.
Well, people were saying it was going in the bush. We checked it plenty of times. Bill?
That was
You know what that means.
100% in the church.
They approach and peer in through a window.
I swear.
Door. I heard the door.
Yeah, I swear to God, I just heard the door do something, like something knocked on the door.
Something is in there, but they have yet to see it. When they near the door, they find it open.
You better come on around from there. Come on. And
Once inside, the creepy feeling escalates.
I already feel like I'm like being stared at everywhere I look. How long?
As long as it takes.
As Dale is talking about the last experience he had here, a light behind him flickers.
I started feeling all weird and like hot and everything, and started getting mad and stuff.
But behind you, Dale. Behind you. Light. It's not the same one.
It's real. It's not that light.
It's not the same one.
When they approach the spirit, it makes its presence known.
Don't knock a book over. Did you hear that?
I thought that was you.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They investigate further, then they capture this.
Oh my.
Dale?
Please tell me you got that.
I did.
You got that?
I did.
There's something in this church, and they don't want this paranormal team trespassing. Not at all.
Freaking cool and pretty clear, and it's so.
Oh my. Dale,
See,
I told you. It's the piano, dude. Oh my.
In my opinion, it's time for them to leave this place, especially after they managed to photograph this. That terrifying shadow sends the coldest of chills down my spine. Without a doubt, this place appears haunted to me. Lori Lee Craig and her husband have a bad feeling about a mysterious handprint on their wall that neither one of them can explain.
Okay, because it's like you can't see it, and then suddenly it's there. And there's no way.
As you can hear in the background, their child has been crying all day, but there's nothing normal about this behavior at all. Listen for yourself.
Stairs. Can you move up a little bit? So even if you stood on the stairs, because there's the handprint, you can't reach it.
The two worried parents walk around the house to see if they can find what's wrong. That's when they notice this strange handprint above their child in an impossible to reach corner of the stairway.
This thing is 6 feet above the stairway.
I wasn't sure what to make of this video until I kept hearing the shrieks of this poor little girl. No skeptic can explain these cries of pure terror. It sounds like the spirit is still in front of her doing who knows what. This video of the Ishima Hoyashi Bridge in Japan looks like one of the scariest places in the world to drive over and has the internet freaking out. It resembles a terrifying roller coaster more than a bridge, but I found a video of someone going over it, and while the ride is creepy, it's probably not as bad as you thought. I just wanted to show what going over this bridge is really like, since the video went viral not too long ago. The reason why the bridge is built like this is to give extra room for boats to go under. It makes sense, but doesn't really make it any less scary, especially if you already have a fear of bridges to begin with. Demonic entity haunts YouTuber Silent Jill subscribers in this scary video. While watching the horror movie The Rite, the couple experienced paranormal activity in their home, and they wrote to Silent Jill requesting that she investigate. In the middle of their tour, one of the team feels something touch him.
Vraiment touché? Oui. Genre quoi?
Ben genre une petite caresse.
Allez, arrête.
Ah si, mais y a rien.
Oui, ok, mais c'est pas parce qu'il n'y a rien sur les K2 qu'il n'y a rien du tout, hein. Ça dépend ça dépend ce qu'il utilise pour montrer son énergie, tu vois.
D'accord.
Let's see his reaction again.
Ça ne fait plus rien. On n'ose plus?
C'est des trucs dans mes cheveux.
Quoi?
Je sais pas. Comme si on m'avait touché les cheveux, mais...
Although nothing more overtly paranormal occurs during their investigation, they do sense something's here, and what's scariest to me is that it's not afraid to come close enough to touch them. While this isn't an extraterrestrial, it very much looks like something straight out of a sci-fi film published by the Mastercaster in December of 2020. This group just caught a lamprey, an ancient jawless fish with a mouth made of rows of vampire-like teeth.
We just caught a lamprey in the Jordan Creek right now. Look at that dude.
The parasitic fish is native to the northern and western Atlantic Ocean, and its funnel-like mouth sucks on all types of fish prey, including catfish, trout, sturgeon, walleye, and more. This monster was captured in the group's local creek, but lampreys have also been found in the Great Lake region. Many in the comments are familiar with the lamprey, with commenter John Sparks warning, "Be careful, it will latch onto you." Apparently this thing preys on humans too. If insects aren't your thing, then this entry will highly test your bravery. This footage is of an insect swarm at the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa. The uploader writes, "During our family holiday in 1996 or 7, we had parked the car and gone for a short walk up the cliffs. When we came back, we found that our car had become a hotspot for these giant wood lice, sea slaters. The clip shows piles upon piles of wood lice crawling around the car tires, an absolutely terrifying sea of insects, all coalescing beneath the vehicle." As the uploader says, probably attracted to its cozy comfiness. After seeing this, would you be brave enough to climb back in and leave? I thought not. Does this sink need a plumber or a priest? Watch this video and tell me if this paranormal activity is real or just a creepy plumbing problem. There's no motion sensor on this sink, and yet the water somehow turns off on its own, like someone is standing right there. I want to know if this workplace bathroom is as haunted as Tom Cunnington claims. I did some research online, and it looks like it might just need a valve replacement, but I was hoping someone with plumbing experience could tell me if this was the case. If so, hopefully we can put Tom's mind at ease, because I think these scary moments caught on camera have been really freaking him out. The last thing you would want to encounter when driving on a deserted stretch of road at night is a ghost. Shot in Delhi, Aman Kumar published this video in August of 2018. As you can see, the driver and his passenger have spotted a figure up ahead in their headlights, so they approach slowly and then stop. The figure ahead is moving across the road at a snail's pace. The driver flashes his brights and low lights on and off several times, but this doesn't affect the figure's pace in the slightest. The figure continues to move slowly across the road, and then another figure. The driver keeps flashing his lights on and off, trying to get the figures to move. They seem to have converged in the middle of the road. It's unclear if the ghostly figures start to approach, but the passenger starts to panic. The driver continues to flash his lights on and off, and at the same time backs up a ways. Even after 3 whole minutes, the figures are still there. That's where the footage ends. We don't know if the path ever cleared for these two, but what we do know is you never know when you might meet the afterlife. Pontiana was believed to be captured on an amateur video recording on Indonesian national news in April of 2023. Redditor Tony Way 1992 shares the creepy catch. See if you can spot her. The creature is seen at the end of this parking garage. While some are screaming fake, this looks all too real to me. And to make matters creepier, the Redditor notes that the footage was being taken as people were rushing out of the mall due to a fire. Considering these circumstances, if this is not a Pontiana, I think it's definitely still a ghost. Morgan Adams is a popular YouTuber who doesn't ordinarily focus on paranormal content at all. So when she recently suspected that her house was haunted, you know I had to take a look. Let's go over the evidence and see if her suspicions are correct. She claims to hear tapping and scratching on the walls, which could be an animal, but then there's whispers too. When this happens, she uses Snapchat and almost always detects a second face nearby. She has named the spirit Angie, and it seems to have become quite attached. Angie often responds to her own name.
Angie! Oh my god! Angie, you have a lot of new friends that would like to say hi. Oh my...
Though Snapchat could be mistaking the shelf behind her for a winking face, and these 2 objects on the wall for eyes, Angie typically lurks around the corner of the house reserved for overnight visitors. Coincidentally, the same area where her dog Ollie absolutely refuses to go. Even with the promise of a treat, Ollie will only allow himself to go so far before he refuses to budge. Some dogs have trouble keeping their balance on hardwood floors and can actually develop a fear of them over time. I thought that could be Ollie's deal because he puts one paw on the wood and stops at 9 minutes and 8 seconds, but at 8 minutes and 52 seconds he has no problem walking on the same type of floor, so that can't be why. I think Morgan Adams could be giving a verbal command for Ollie to sit when she says okay at 9 minutes and 8 seconds. You tell me if Ollie is doing a trick or if he senses something and is too nervous to go forward.
Come on. Okay, come on.
I don't think it's fake because then she tells him to come on and he still won't move. And when Morgan gets to the end of the hall, she hears a noise and shudders. Plus, Ollie isn't the only animal acting weird. Her cat will freeze at the door like someone is on the other side, and Morgan even hears knocking sometimes.
Cut it out right now. Stop!
There's never anything there, and yet the cat stares at the wall as if something has its attention.
Literally, I'm gonna freak out if you don't stop. Oh my, two orbs, literally.
An orb of light also flies in the direction that her cat is staring. Odd indeed. Oh, and there's also this strange Snapchat photo taken in the middle of the night. It could be something photoshopped, but I see something more to it. To the left of the shadow person, I see a face on the wall and another peeking out from behind the covers. It almost looks like the exact same from a photo taken at the mountain pass, where Angie the spirit first followed Morgan home. And if you're wondering where Angie is in the photo, check out Morgan's shoulder. The dark hair is not hers. Finally, one night, her dad lets it slip that the property was built near an old burial ground. Tell me if you think he is telling the truth here or not.
Do you think our house is haunted?
Nope.
The way he pauses and looks away makes me think he could have been trying to avoid saying anything that could make his daughter worry any more than she already has been. So is all of this real or fake? I'm 50-50 on this one, so your opinions will help me decide. Do you hear that haunting melody? It may be the vocalizations of an actual ghost. Posted by Charger3933 to the Ghosts subreddit. This clip captures a ghostly song in the abandoned asylum, Eloise Psychiatric Hospital in Michigan, which we've discussed at length in previous top 15s. Charger notes in the comments that he did not hear the singing during the visit, only afterwards when he listened back to the recording. The Redditor was wandering around the abandoned asylum with a friend when he heard disembodied footsteps coming up the stairs. As he tried to capture the footsteps via a Snapchat video, he heard screaming from a distance. He saved the video and later heard the haunting singing as well. Redditor Wubba-Lubba-Dubbity-Doo in the comments writes, obviously we have to take the audio with a grain of salt because it's possible someone was hidden in the building. That being said, I hear the screams and sleep freaky AF. The same Redditor later notes in the thread that the uploader basically caught an EVP. He also remarks that he too hears the footsteps or something moving nearby. The uploader states that he tried to stay as still as possible and that he would also consider this an EVP as he did not hear the singing in real time. Redditor quite fast agrees that the singing sounds like a lullaby. The Redditor tried to isolate the woman's voice and added a clearer clip to the thread. The humming voice sounds even spookier with the audio cleared up, and as quite fast notes, you can almost hear the words safe and sound. Do you feel safe and sound after watching this video? When demons get aggressive, then it's time to be really afraid. Published by Realidad Alterna in November of 2021, this scary video shows a terrifying, malignant incident caught on camera, captured in a scary haunted house. Tim sets up his camera and immediately hears a strange noise behind him. As he's reading something out loud, a window pane starts opening and shutting like mad. The lights start flashing in both rooms, and later, with the night vision on, a chair comes flying out of another room. It doesn't look like it's thrown, rather like it rises. But the scariest part is yet to come. As Tim reads a ritual out loud, a chair comes flying behind him, knocking him over, and seated into the chair. Later, he hears strange knocking from the basement. And when he goes to investigate, creepy groans sound distantly, but they seem like they're all around him. There is something truly to fear in this demon house. Are you ready to face it? If you're going to cage a phantom, you're going to need a bigger door. Hosted by Wokaya this footage shows you can't keep a ghost locked up. The hunters are holding an EMF meter toward a locked set of doors.
By the corner.
After a moment, something pounds against the door and then rattles it, trying to get out. I'm not sure what the context of this video is, but one thing's certain, whatever's inside is not staying there. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Purgatory Adventures. This Redditor wrote, "Check out this crazy scream we captured while spending the night in a haunted location in Saskatchewan, Canada. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about."
Yep. Kick it again. Yeah, I can see the lights.
The lights, Kate.
Here's there.
Boxed it, stated.
You know, sit there.
There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Lady Mania wrote, "I barely hear a scream. I only hear regular noises and the two people talking." Well, Corn TJE wrote, "Sounds like a cat in my opinion. Did you hear the scream the uploader is talking about? If so, what do you think is causing it? Let me know in the comments." The Bel Air house in Ohio is said to be haunted by aggressive apparitions. Will YouTuber Sunny Deeds and his crew meet with one of them? The group conduct a seance in the haunted Bel Air house, and the spirits are ready to communicate with movement.
What? Her phone just moved.
My phone just legitimately.
I think someone's camera got that. Hopefully.
That's what that noise was?
Her phone just moved. I watched it.
Shit. I can't see it. My camera's dead in front of me.
Yeah, it moved.
Then the spirits turn out the light.
What the
What?
The f***ing candle just went out.
Which one?
This one right here.
Slow, you can see the lights are phone. There's smoke. It's out. It went out. What does that mean? Blood?
Well, I asked.
Yeah, why? What's that mean?
But what does it mean? Was this spirit warning the group that it might attack? Because that's what happens next. The spirit targets the psychic, Kristen. It seems to me the group did meet with one of those aggressive spirits after all. It's probably a dangerous idea to call them up via seance in the first place. A man films the road ahead while speaking in a different language. I'm not sure what he says, but it sounds like he is trying his best to stay calm in the face of danger. If you can translate this part for me, it would really help.
Berikan ku kekuatan dan jauhilah segala sanggup, jauhilah segala kejahatan ya Allah.
He slowly turns around the camera to reveal a hooded figure floating in his car. Only the upper half of its body is visible, and there's total darkness where its face should be. He doesn't dare look at the phantom in his rearview mirror, instead keeping his eyes on the road and letting the camera look for him. If this isn't a prop, then what could it be besides a ghost? The Adventures of Hamad Salhai has the keys to an apartment that is slowly being taken over by a powerful jinn. Once inside, he begins a ceremony with candles. I don't know if this is a summoning or a cleansing ritual, but I do know that what happens as a result is beyond creepy. First of all, the flame from the candle remains completely horizontal and still. Then his flashlight flickers with paranormal energy and the ceremony kicks into full swing.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء.
A door closes by itself, and when he opens the door back up, the ghost avoids a confrontation again.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله.
He relights the candle and goes inside the room to see what the ghost is trying to hide. These pictures adorn the walls, perhaps victims of the person whose ghost now haunts this apartment building, or maybe just family members. He is pondering something out loud that I bet would give us more information about this room, so please translate if you can.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
A shadow figure in the corner makes him drop his only source of light, and now he is left in the darkness in the same room as the terrifying phantom figure. He runs out of the room fast and grabs a flashlight, no longer worried about using the ceremonial candles at the moment, but it won't let him leave, so he picks up the candles once more.
من شر ما خلق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله.
This is what finally freaks him out. I think a ghost touches his shoulder, but help me translate to better understand.
استنى شوي ضغط في الشمع بقول لكم والله ما نطفي فيه. السلام عليكم.
Residents in Tallahassee, Florida, feared for their lives when this strange and haunting sound echoed throughout their area for over 20 minutes.
It's not back that way, it's up in this corner. Don't go out there.
There's little doubt that this video is real, as you can hear the fear in the family's voices.
Get the kids in the bathroom.
I hear the wind.
Get the kids in the bathroom.
Get the bathroom.
I thought it was a tornado, but the person in the video doesn't. They called 911 and learned that police were apparently flooded with concerned complaints about the noise. The person who recorded this footage says that the local news was told to report this as an airplane. This doesn't really sound like an airplane to me. There's one other strange occurrence, a sudden flash of lightning that instantly makes the noise disappear.
If it is to get into this thing. Uh-oh, what was that? I don't hear it anymore, Till.
Stop.
I've never been in a tornado before, so I can't say if this video looks normal or not. I'm especially looking for opinions from people who have been in one. Do you agree with the uploader that this could have been something more than a tornado, like a government weather experiment? Uncharted Travel is the name of a ghost hunting YouTube channel who goes exploring an abandoned children's mental asylum at 3 a.m. with over 100 years of terrifying history involving cases of neglect and mistreatment. This derelict mental asylum is supposed to be one of the scariest and most haunted places in Baltimore. Almost immediately, the ghost hunters think they hear movement coming from upstairs, weird noises that I can just barely hear, kind of like children's footsteps.
They're upstairs. There's somebody walking upstairs.
The creepy sounds are followed by much scarier noises. They go exploring the second floor of the not-so-abandoned but almost certainly haunted children's mental asylum in search of the scary noises, and that's when their paranormal investigation uncovers a mysterious brick wall sectioning off a part of the asylum with a child-sized hole in it. It's a creepy moment for sure, and not exactly something you would expect to find at 3 a.m. And maybe it's just me, but this looks like it might be a hidden room with bars behind the brick wall. Across from a children's playroom with two creepy dolls is a holding room with weird drawings on the wall, and much higher up, two round holes, perhaps marking where a caretaker lost their temper. They go exploring the rest of the rooms and start to retrace their steps to see if they missed anything. And that's when one of the ghost hunters has a scary moment and comes running back to the group.
No. The door just opened by itself. No. Which one? That door just opened by itself.
I do believe this part, and I'll tell you why. It's because there's an apparition behind them that I bet you didn't even see. As he runs downstairs screaming about a ghost opening the door, a scary ghost face is in the window, eyes and all. It appears again at 28 minutes and 26 seconds, a stretched out ghost face in the window, or perhaps it's their flashlight shining into the dirty glass. I'm not sure which. All I know is that half a minute later, all remnants of this bizarre ghost face in the window are completely gone, so I think it could have been a paranormal ghost sighting after all. Also, when they go upstairs upstairs to test the door that the ghost allegedly opens. They get more paranormal evidence on their equipment.
Yeah, you're getting big readings over here, Dan. I wonder why.
The beeping of their equipment turns into a solid note when they get within close proximity to the door. Notice how this solid note of paranormal evidence happens again when he actually opens the door.
Dan, those dolls are in a completely different place from when we last saw them.
Coincidentally, this is the same door leading into the children's playroom, and unless the ghost hunters reposition them, at least one of the two creepy dolls moved by itself since the last time they were in here. So yeah, don't go exploring this abandoned mental asylum at 3 a.m. because apparently you'll see some truly weird things. If you're thinking of taking your motorbike down a dark, mainly deserted road at night, you'd better be ready for what comes next. Published to YouTube by Mumbiker Nakyle. To YouTube in December of 2014, another strange sighting was spotted while riding on a cold night. The uploader writes, I was passing by Erie Colony after midnight, and I would like to share the scary incident which took place. He notes in the video that the area is known for its ghost stories and scary people who lurk nearby. Nakyle says he wasn't sure if what he saw was a thief or a ghost, but whatever it was scary. Thieves and ghosts aren't the only scary things about Erie Colony. Located in India's Sanjay Gandhi National Park, Wikipedia warns against traveling the deciduous forest between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. as there are many feral pigs, stray dogs, and even leopards in the thick vegetation along the lonely roads. Worse, life takings are not uncommon in the area. Neither are occult practices. Ghost stories are widely circulated, with many claiming that spirits have tried to hitch rides in the night in this area. So yeah, why not take a ride down it? Though it is late, vehicles pass Nakyle by as he rides down the dark road. There are even people standing on the shoulder at some points. As he continues driving, darkness envelopes until he sees a man walking strangely in the middle of the road. He cries out as he almost collides with the man. But when he turns around, no one is there at all. He said he turned out of curiosity, but then realized the guy could be a thief, though he didn't see him anywhere in the darkness. So he sped off to live another day, and he says he's never returning to the area again after midnight. Would you? Based on what Wikipedia said, it's not a good idea. When the paranormal team Cazadores de Sombras went to investigate this ritual site, what they found was a living nightmare. As they approached the site, they find what appears to be a body levitating high above a fire pit. They later hear something in the surrounding woods.
No, Dan, neither. Not first. Silence. Carabina. Wait.
Now, back in the safety of their vehicle, they're left to ponder what their eyes saw. Without context, it's difficult to know what's going on here. Is this person being levitated by some dark magic? And for what purpose? I can't provide any insight on this one, but I do know that I'm super creeped out by the events here. This paranormal activity couldn't be clearer. Published by Paranormal Maya in January of 2022, the paranormal investigator is speaking to the jinn that haunts this home.
Niyetim sizi rahatsız etmek diye bir şey yok. Sizler bizleri rahatsız ediyorsunuz.
As he speaks, the door slowly swings closed and then slams shut. An EVP captures a phrase that means, "Shut up, we are at your home."
Kafir cinlersiniz.
who exactly is here? I don't want to stick around to find out. Worst nightmare is to be buried alive. This stunt will have you panicking. Just like Ryan, published in May of 2021. Ryan Prunty's stunt saw him buried alive for 51 hours in an attempt to try and break Mr. Beast's world record. Well, in his buried box, Ryan starts panicking and screams the safe word. The team begins the task of unburying his coffin.
Be called pineapple. Okay.
Which is filled with water and garbage. They aren't moving fast enough for Ryan's taste, and the screws keep getting stripped.
It's stripped, we're getting this off. Yeah, Carter's stripped both, bro.
What do you mean, look? I'm in a box!
Finally, they managed to pull off the lid, and Ryan is freed, and I'm sure he was never happier to see the light of day again.
Oh my. You alright, buddy? Man, dude, you make a mess. We leave you down here for 25 hours and you leave it looking like this?
Most people think of houses, hospitals, or jails when they think about ghost sightings, but some of the most unsuspecting of places can turn out to be the most haunted. This footage was taken in a popular food joint during broad daylight. A shadowy ghost suddenly materializes in a Subway restaurant. It starts out in the shape of a human and almost appears to be getting a table. When it gets back to its seat, the black shadow suddenly changes into a floating black blob of an orb. At this point, an employee or maybe a customer appears to see the ghost in the doorway. Whoever they are, they look stunned for a second and then quickly back away. The shadow orb pays no attention to the human as it floats up to the window and lingers there. It's almost as if it's taking a look at the outside world. The ghost starts to rise even higher and shrinks until it fully disappears back to wherever it came from. Does Redditor Shai Lanshina's cat have a ghostly nighttime friend? Security camera footage captured this mysterious figure in the upper left corner of the camera. My first thought is a spider leg or something on the lens, but the Redditor says they immediately checked and there were no bugs in sight. What do you make of this? Is the cat cursed, as some are suggesting in the comments? If it's not a bug, I have no clue what it could be. This video is called Old Man Tries to Lure Me. The person in question might just be bored and lonely, or they might have some really bad intentions. Watch what happens and give me your take. A YouTuber named Soft Flop is riding his bike to work when he passes a man who is sitting at the edge of his lawn. The two greet each other like normal, but then the man eagerly adds that he was just lighting fireworks. This video was taken in July, so I can understand why he'd be doing that, but listen to his voice and tell me if you think he is being over-friendly.
What's up, bud?
I was lighting fireworks, huh?
You were?
Sitting out here alone is kind of odd. If you saw somebody randomly using this setup, would you think the owner is out of their mind or just down on their luck? I'm thinking Softflaw might have felt a little sorry for him because they do stop and talk. After a while though, the man invites him to go even deeper onto his property to light more fireworks. I guess he could just be feeling patriotic on the 4th of July, but do you think he sounds suspicious here?
I'll go grab fireworks, honestly.
Softflop decides he is fine where he is, and that's when the man starts to touch his bike and offers to fix something wrong with it. Maybe he's just being a nice guy, or maybe he is trying to gauge how Softflop reacts to him touching his stuff.
Get this out for you a little bit.
No, I'm good.
By now he is standing closer than ever, so Softflop gets out of there with a fist pound. Which scenario is the truth? A socially awkward loner trying to meet new people, or someone trying to do harm? Question: what's scarier than a theater at night? Answer: a haunted one. Published to TikTok, this appears to show the phantom caretaker of a haunted theater. Jay says the theater is supposed supposed to be empty, but he keeps hearing a noise, so he's searching the theater to find its source.
Alright guys, so I work at this old theater and been hearing a noise. It's a really beautiful theater, as you can see, if you can see it at all. But I keep hearing a noise in here, and there's not supposed to be anybody here, so...
Suddenly, he glimpses something in an upper theater box. He can't quite capture what it is, but after backing up a bit and zooming in, he manages to focus on this. It looks like the ghostly figure of a little boy dressed in a suit, although the image is blurry. The scary figure is distinctly there, leering out from a theater box. Phantom of the Opera? An intruder? Maybe he's just a ghost fanboy waiting patiently for the play to start. Mikael Kroosbergen is deep in a cave in the tropical country of Laos when he catches this incredibly large arachnid lurking on the stony gray wall. Mikael later describes this spider as being the size of a full-grown pizza. Its eyes are large enough to reflect light back into the camera like a cat, which is something I've never seen a bug's eyes do. Eventually, the creature scurries into the darkness with the speed of a professional sprinter, never to be seen by human eyes again. According to the description, they are sure that this is a giant huntsman spider, which apparently will bite on occasion. Tell me if you agree with their assessment and how you were able to tell for sure. A Russian YouTuber plays Russian roulette with poltergeists in this paranormal footage, published to YouTube by Dark Ghost in March of 2021. This poltergeist activity was captured by cameras installed in the haunted home, as well as cameras operated by the ghost hunter who was brave enough to enter. The first instance of paranormal activity comes when a camera that he installed in one room captures a cupboard being moved on its own. It scrapes across the floor and comes to a halt in the middle of the room. And after hearing the noise, the ghost hunter enters to see for himself. The room appears empty, but he soon realizes it's not. An entire wardrobe nearly falls directly on him. There is no space behind the wardrobe for someone to have stood and pushed it over, so what caused this heavy furniture to fall? In a state of shock, having barely escaped with his life, the ghost hunter sets up his spirit box to talk with the spirit. It asks him clear as day who he is and why he's here. The spirit tells him that it is dangerous. When he asks what is, she says his occupation. The spirit tells him that the souls of the passed away have heard him. She also notes that they're not all good ones. After a while, she refuses to answer any more questions. When the ghost hunter returns to the room where the cupboard moved and the wardrobe nearly took his life, everything has returned to its place. As he settles in for the night, somehow catching some shut-eye while stretched out on wooden chairs, a spot of light bursts above him, and he springs to his feet. He said that at that point he felt a bitter cold. Once you've nearly had your life taken and feel the temperature drop, it's probably time to pack it in and call it a night. While exploring deep inside the Cave of Mounds, YouTuber Near Shadow starts to hear whispers. Listen closely.
Oh, you're late. Hold on. What was that? What was that? What is that? Hello?
Later, you can definitely hear a child's voice in this larger cavern.
It looks like it's like gonna fall. Look.
It does. This is cool.
Yeah, there's so much moisture that you don't know. Like, look how wet that is, and then you can't.
The team doesn't appear to hear this in the moment. To me, the voice sounds a lot louder than the earlier whispers. Is there a child spirit trapped in the Cave of Mounds? I think it's time to send in the cave divers. Walking home in the dark is never a treat. It's even worse if you cross paths with something like this. Posted to YouTube in February of 2018 by Rohit Mukherjee. This ghost sighting was caught on camera in India. The YouTuber writes that one of his uncle's friends captured the creature on camera while returning home late from work with a friend. He writes, as he was coming down the road, he heard some noises, mostly shrieks, and he thought it might be an animal or something. As he was looking around, he saw something on the trees and pointed his mobile camera towards it, and then he saw this mysterious creature. The footage does show a figure in the trees. It looks like a human outline. At first, you assume it's just some oddity in the shadows, but then it moves. After seeing this creature, the men say, "Bug, bug," which means run, run. They then raced home and sent the video to Rohit's uncle. What do you think this figure could be? A ghost, an evil shadow, or some other strange entity? Or maybe it's just a monkey? I'm not sure where this video was taken, but it looks like an open-air seafood market. A giant fish on the end is bigger than any of the others and has been attracting onlookers all day. If this person had simply purchased it or moved on like everyone else, then this video would never need to be analyzed by me. Instead, they tap it twice with the corner of their smartphone like it's the tire of a used car. The second tap is close to the eye, which I think triggers a nervous system response. It was completely motionless before and its gills were not moving, so I don't think it was truly alive. Still, they should have kept their hands off the merchandise. I wonder if the store owners made them pay. Anyway, here it looks like the fish actually manages to get the phone into its without a doubt slimy mouth, so they should probably just give up and get a new phone along with a new dinner. A YouTuber named Richard205Maria believes that some kind of advanced life form is following his every move, so he sets up surveillance equipment around his house. He finds this strange creature flying around his yard at around 6 in the morning shortly thereafter. The glowing all-white apparition looks relatively small and is so fast that the camera has a hard time capturing any details. We can vaguely see 4 humanoid limbs and perhaps a set of wings as well, though it's hard to tell for sure. It appears to fly headfirst with its arms stiffly sat at its sides, a strange characteristic for almost any creature of flight on this planet. I think there's a strong possibility that this could be CGI, but I can't eliminate the possibility of an insect, a reflection of light, or even otherworldly contact. I encourage you to watch the other videos on Richard's channel and tell me if you think he has an extraterrestrial following him or not. John of a paranormal channel called Exploration Unknown investigates an abandoned farmhouse late at night. He and 2 other ghost hunters split up and then reconvened downstairs to discuss what they found, which was little more than some empty rooms and loose steps.
The floors upstairs are pretty spongy. I did it, but I doubt it.
After talking with Tim, John walks through the first floor, and at 11 minutes a shadow figure is caught on tape moving above him.
We've got the K2 meter over here in this window. We're getting things set up. Alright. And then in here, we got Josh on the porch.
It's not Josh because Josh is on the porch outside, and it's not Tim because they just had a conversation about how dangerous the floor was up there. And for some reason the legs remain covered in darkness, even though enough light hits the area to show the banister is brown, so there's a strong chance that this ghost video is real. A paranormal investigator named Exist wants to see if ghosts exist in an abandoned funeral parlor in South Korea. In this stairwell is where they record the strongest evidence of paranormal activity. Something is at the bottom of these steps, according to their readouts. Snapchat finds activity in the corner. It looks like a ghost in a white dress with her back turned, long black hair. They don't dare go down there and confront her. Instead, they sum up a music box that is hand cranked at the top of the steps and see if she will come to them. I'm not sure if a ghost is really doing this or if they were in control. If someone has more information about the paranormal equipment they're using here, then let me know if this part is real or if they have a secret way to control it. So much energy surrounds them that the music box never stops playing. They have to manually turn it off, satisfied that this experiment was a success. Next, he records his Snapchat filter to see if any faces are caught coming up the stairs. Instead, he gets something even scarier. Something walks right by them, opens the door, and holds it open for them. They respect the spirit's wishes and politely leave. A family was reportedly taken from this scary abandoned house, and these ghost hunters are here to investigate. Published by Dark Arts TV in August of 2021, they first come across a photograph of creepy porcelain dolls. They then open the door to a room before heading outside. While outside, they hear an unexplained sound.
So I've got a big torch on now. And the house is banged.
Another happens shortly after, scaring the crew.
This video right. I know. Energy.com for sponsoring this video right.
Back inside, while one of them is waiting for the other near the stairs, the front door opens. Later they hear voices, and it sounds like someone is at the door. When they ask the spirit to show itself, they hear it again.
Can you show yourself?
Outside again, they speak to the spirit through the spirit box, and he tells them what he's ready for. They later hear male voices, not through the spirit box, but nearby.
Man's voice here. Two people talking. Yeah, I'm turning this off, mate.
I like it. Bad. Scream.
They decide it's time to leave before they get taken to. Dennis of Dark Life is about to encounter an aggressive poltergeist in the house of the witch. His cameras capture everything too. First, something starts messing with the cupboard. The demon then grows a bit more aggressive. He seems to be toying with Dennis. Dennis asks many questions of the spirit, and the spirit responds.
Вас она убила? Она сейчас здесь?
When he asks if the spirit needs help, it answers.
Я могу вам чем-нибудь помочь?
Shit.
It seems to be following him.
Это вы? Вы сейчас создаете этот звук?
And the knocking gets louder.
Dead?
Again, the spirit reiterates that no one can help him.
Вам кто-нибудь может помочь? Есть.
And finally, Dennis decides that he's in danger and should leave.
Не боюсь, грозит опасность. Да. Я сказал опасность. Ерунда. В общем, все, друзья, я сейчас собираюсь, возвращаюсь позже, когда уже уйду.
It's clear that this malevolent spirit is taking no prisoners. If I were Dennis, I'd get out of there too. A YouTuber named Frosty Flakes is searching for elk in the woods of Imnaha, Oregon. When his elk whistle attracts a pack of hungry wolves. Soon they find themselves surrounded and have to step carefully. They are way outnumbered and the wolves sound very close by, ferocious and closing in fast.
Wolves are exactly on opposite sides of us.
Every time they stop to gain a sense of direction, they can hear the wolves combing through the area where they just were. And I think this is where the pack decides not to pursue any further and lets them off with a warning howl. They sound close enough to charge the entire time, yet hidden so well in their surroundings that you would never know where to even look until it was already too late. At around 5 a.m., Redditor SEC126's security camera captures what appears to be a spooky apparition. See for yourself. It looks like a ghostly shape shifts into view. The Redditor says the motion sensor was triggered by this. Redditors in the comments share their theories. While some do think it's a full-body apparition passing by, I don't think the video is clear enough or long enough to tell for sure. It's 2:10 a.m. on September of 2015. This individual is fast asleep in their bed, as anyone might expect to be at such a late hour. Posted to YouTube by the Gender Uwo in April of 2019, the video shows a man tossing and turning in his sleep, normal restlessness. At one point, he pulls the covers up over his head. A short while later, he turns onto his side. All normal, but what's abnormal is the body shape that appears to be sleeping next to him. After rolling to his side, the man notices the unwelcome company under the covers. He starts feeling what looks to be a solid form beside him. Appearing startled, he gets out from under the covers, patting the blanket up and down, before pulling it clean off his bed. As you likely suspected, there is nothing beneath it. Further footage in the man's apartment shows a strange blurred shadow figure cross from a hallway to another room in the home. The same sort of shadow figure is seen again in the footage from another hallway in the apartment. What do you think? Is it time to move? Probably should, just in case. Don't know about you, but I'd do whatever was in my power to avoid sharing my bed with an unwelcome ghost. Have you heard of the Fresno Nightcrawler? The cryptoid in question was first caught on video surveillance in Fresno, California. It appears extraterrestrial, looking akin to a long pair of white pants with a tiny head. The figure in this video, published in April of 2020, certainly fits that description. The home surveillance footage from Billings, Montana purportedly captures this bizarre creature. Claudia writes, the figure appears in the top right corner at the 20-second mark along with sounds that seem to match a pig or some kind of mammal. Right before the timestamp in question, a car appears to drive near the property off camera, casting light into the yard. That's when you see the figure at the top right corner, which looks like it has two legs. Seeming to be scared into stillness, it soon scurries out of sight, if not the Fresno Nightcrawler. What do you think this is? It looks like no mountain lion I've ever seen. After renting a Verbo for the weekend, YouTube team FV Family winds up in this creepy cabin in the woods, and that's when things get real. They find a hole in the wall that may be there for nefarious purposes.
That's like perfect for a spy camera.
What do you think? What is this all about? And does it tie in with the possible secret entrance that they find in this cryptic room?
Entranceway. Oh, heck no.
I'm not sure, but things aren't adding up here, and this is looking like the B&B I don't want to stay at. A YouTuber named Alien6467 and a friend are heading down a long stretch of country road in Southwood, New York, when an abandoned White House on the side of the road catches their attention. Something feels odd about this house, so they decide to get out and start exploring. The first thing the two of them notice is a room with #vengeance scrawled across the wall in big green letters. Under this word are dozens of bags that inexplainably contain only a single coin. After a bit of searching, they find a loose floor panel nearby and start pulling out more Ziploc bags containing single coins. The strange feeling gets even stronger after this discovery, and they decide to leave. When filming the house for one last time, they see that they are no longer alone, nor were they ever to begin with. A mysterious black silhouette watches them from above without sound, but I guess it could just be a prank. I mean, they were just inside of that room. So maybe Alien6467 went up there again and pretended to be a ghost for the final shot. Then again, it could even have been somebody who was squatting in the house. The coins might have been a calling card, each one representing a previous victim. Are there ghosts all around us? That's what Tesla's tracker technology has me thinking. Posted to TikTok by Piero1519. This Tesla owner entered a cemetery where his vehicle's technology detected life or non-life nearby. A figure can be seen appearing digitally on the car's screen, clearly ahead into the far right of the car.
And look at this. And nobody's there. The cemetery. Wow. Wow.
So it shows it like a
Flashing his camera to the location indicated, Piero shows that there's no one there at all. All that's there are a couple of gravestones and an otherwise empty graveyard. Some in the comments are saying that the Tesla assumes the tombstone is a person, since it doesn't have a tombstone detection feature. But wouldn't the Tesla then detect people in anything human-shaped that its technology hasn't been taught to identify? That would just be weird. TikToker Namaste says, ghost detection is an added feature of Tesla, but Leah Jordan takes a turn writing, it's all fun and games till it gets in the car with you. Let's hope that ghostly terror remained in its eternal bed. Some scary videos just stay with you, so much so that you wish you'd never seen them in the first place. This video comes from Ghost Crusaders, published to YouTube in April of 2020. This episode explores the haunted Lechworth Village, the crew's very first haunted location, which they investigated in 2014. Located in Rockland County, New York, in a 1921 report, over half of the residents in Lechworth were youth, 328 of the 506 patients, ranging from the age of 0 to 16. This fact may contribute to the negative energy in the village, as many Lechworth staff said a scarcity in necessary supplies, as well as food and water. Lechworth's conditions were exposed through photographs and media investigations, and although reforms were made in the 1970s due to public pressure, Lechworth permanently closed in 1996. Since then, the complex has fallen into decay. Everything remains how it was left, instantly abandoned. The Ghost Crusaders explores this institution and all its appalling history. The crew notes in the comments, while using an SB11 spirit box, I never thought I captured any EVPs. It wasn't until reviewing the footage for this episode that I heard the voice, and yes, I can hear other voices like multiple people talking, which I do say at one point, but I edited out for timing, but I can't make out what they are saying.
If anybody's in here,
I don't know.
At one point, the EVP captures a voice saying,
So something comes through and stick me around with it. Oh, it's not part of the head interference. So something comes through and stick me around with it.
A moment later, the voice pleads, please don't hurt me. Later, when they are in the bathroom, a voice, potentially from a phantom orderly of the hospital, tells them to sit, as if directing them to do their business on the toilet.
That was a girl's voice. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Some of the EVPs mentioned are not very clear, but the female scream that's heard through the spirit box at one point is definitely frightening. Later, their cameras run out of battery, and while they're changing the batteries, the audio of the EVP is still captured. A voice says, "Leave me alone." At the same time, the investigator who heard the voice in real time, Dan, says he felt a cold breeze on the back of his neck and he felt someone was standing behind them, whispering into his ear, "Would you have the stomach to visit Lexworth Village? Neither would we." Another crew enters the woods, not to make peace with the paranormal there, but to provoke it. Posted on the very spooky video subreddit by Enrique Glue, this crew came across a witch in the woods, and they decided to test her powers. While wandering through the woods, they spotted something creepy to say the least. Far off, amongst the trees and brush, a creepy figure is caught in the spotlight of their torch. The pale figure has long dark hair and is wearing all black. She simply stands there motionless as they set their eyes on her. She watches them as they watch her. They pull their flashlights and camera away, but when they move back toward her, she is still there, watching them. They cast their lights on her for a while. She stays still and silent. They attempt to address her, but she doesn't respond. One of them throws something at the witch. You can tell his aim was on point, as the being instantly falls over. They then run like wild out of the woods. After this encounter, I kinda hope the witch caught up with them. Afnan Arash is plagued by paranormal activity wherever he goes, and now not even his home offers respite from the constant hauntings. Even though we don't speak the same language, I can still feel the anger and desperation in his voice as he demands for the ghost to leave him be.
Tak habis, mengganggu hidup aku. Hah? Mana?
Afnan stares in disbelief at the table of broken plates. It's hard to tell if he threw a rock or something to break the plates himself or if a poltergeist did it. The right half of the table is not on camera, which makes me suspicious because that's also probably his throwing arm. However, he sounds so genuinely terrified that I think this video is paranormal. While walking down an empty street at night, this man encountered not one but 3 witches. Posted to the very spooky video subreddit by Enrique Glue, he hears them before he sees them. The witches are making these horror movie noises that are creepy in and of themselves. As he walks, he spies this figure off to his right. He then makes a run for it, but their scary wails follow him. Next, he spies this figure to the left. He continues running as the screaming gets crazier. And lastly, another figure in white coming from this alleyway to the right. Many in the comments think the noise sounds like cats or an upset husky. Others say this is obviously the call for the witch meeting. What do you think is happening here? I can't imagine it's anything good. Located in the UK, Taxel Lodge is reputed to have paranormal activity. YouTuber Moxley's Paranormal World says what they witnessed here left them terrified. Inside, they quickly start to feel uneasy.
That's the sort of feelings this place is giving off. It's like if you could have sworn I heard something.
Right, I swear I've just seen something out that doorway just there.
Is their paranoia getting the better of them? Mock says he saw something in the second floor window, and viewers are seeing a shadow figure peering down at them.
There's no upstairs there.
I see it too, but there could be something up there casting this shadow. It's hard to tell. Later, when Mox hears a voice, he asks the spirits if it was theirs, and they answer.
Whose voice did I just hear then? There's no floors there.
Yeah. Many in the comments think the disembodied voice said, "Mine." Is this the voice of the shadow figure we saw earlier? This place is giving off creepy vibes for days, so I wouldn't doubt it. You're exploring a dark underground mine, water dripping, echoes, silence, and then you hear this. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Resurrect. The Redditor was on an adventure through the Disido mine in Arizona when he heard what he describes as footsteps on wood coming from deep within the tunnel. He says he and his crew were the only ones there at the time. Would you hightail it out of there or wait to see who or what was approaching? Well, most in the comments are already racing for the hills. Redditor JD250 offers a potential explanation. He writes, "When I was a kid, I lived up in Tennessee right on an old mine used by the town for storing stuff in the early 1800s, and I would hear sounds like these." Although JD says that he doesn't personally believe in ghosts, he admits to sensing the presence of pain and suffering in a place. On another note, the Redditor felt angry and hostile vibes in the place and insisted that it felt like something terrible had occurred in that mine, and he didn't want to know what it was. He also notes that his stepfather felt he couldn't breathe at one point, and not from overexertion. Do you think this could be explained naturally, or is something haunting this mining tunnel? Wherever you stand, myself and most agree that this is one of the creepiest videos posted. This recent video of an unidentified flying device was sighted in New Mexico. It looks like a disc-shaped object until one of the lights breaks away. Then they all briefly flicker out before lighting back up in a new formation. Is this some kind of special military flare exercise or what? I think I'm gonna go with what, and by what, I mean extraterrestrial life. Every single body has disappeared from this Thailand cemetery overnight, casket and all. Empty rows stretch as far as the eye can see, with absolutely no evidence as to how it was done, no tracks from heavy machinery, no shovels accidentally left behind, no footprints, nothing. The person recording cries. Is this a sign from above? Zombies, body snatchers? Whatever the answer may be, this video simply shouldn't exist. This group of friends decides to go into an old middle school that's rumored to be haunted. The building has only recently been abandoned, and it's still in relatively good condition, so there's not much to say until they come to one section of the school that's much darker and filled with mold. The group still feels safe in their large numbers down here, and they bravely trudge through a series of musty hallways. They don't see anything out of the ordinary, but when they put the video on YouTube later, somebody points out a possible shadow figure in the distance during this part in particular. I personally think that it could just be stacked debris, but then again, I can somewhat make out the faint outline of a shadow that's roughly the size of a child. The more I look at it, the more I can notice its legs and head in particular. Let me know if you agree, or if you think I'm looking into the situation too deeply. Throngs of people gather in the mountain province of Guizhou, China, to witness strange trumpet sounds in the sky. As you listen, tell me what this is and why it would happen way out in the middle of nowhere. The group hears 4 strange noises in a row, and yet none of them actually sees anything scary in the sky. But that's not all. The phenomenon, known as sky trumpets, is only the first phase. Soon the mountain range is filled with the sounds of a giant unknown creature, an enormous wildcat that's heard all over but seen by no one. And the final phase sounds like two giant creatures clashing. There's a clear victor, and one of them sounds like they're falling from the sky. Modern science cannot explain what's behind these noises, which makes you wonder if there's any semblance of truth behind the various ancient mythologies that speak of similar events. Will this couple live happily ever after? Shared by YouTube channel blah blah, this video was originally posted on TikTok. The mysterious video of what appears to be a wedding party is trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community. A pair of newlyweds sit together with a forlorn look on their faces, while an officiant reads through some documents or scripture with the wedding party gathered round. We can assume all is normal, but a moment later something unsettling happens. Watch the bride-to-be. What came over her? Her eyes grow wide as though she's suddenly become possessed by something. She then follows an unknown object above before having a strange fit and appearing to silently scream in pain. Did a mysterious force from above possess her? Or did that force simply strike in that moment and cause her agonizing pain? It's hard for me to tell here what may have happened without further context or an extended video, but if I had to guess, I'd say something possessed her. It's all in the eyes. A terrible demon has set up shop in this house, and Dennis from Dark Ghost Paranormal is about to face its wrath. The demon first makes its presence known in the wardrobe. With his nerves on edge, Dennis asks the demon to reveal himself.
Ответь мне, кто ты?
Then things get real creepy. Moments later, the demon's face appears on Dennis's camera, after which this happens. The demon has definitely been released, and if I were Dennis, I'd be careful. It seems like this one means business. A YouTuber named Unnouns posted this trail cam footage he caught while camping at the foot of Maple Mountain in Ontario. For 2 nights in a row, a strange and loud humming noise made him pass out from 8 at night until 11 in the morning the next day. At first, you can only see this curly, out of focus object, but it's actually the arm of this giant creature. If it is a costume, it's really good, and I wouldn't even know where to step in. The blob glows pure white as it curiously handles the camera, then its glow extends to the tree behind. Unknowns claims he had no idea what was camping with him those 2 nights. Do you believe him? I certainly do. This creepy video takes viewers on an adventure around the world through Google Earth, and what we discover is not of this world. Published by Kanon Mujik, the journey begins with a zoom toward Japan. Landing on the streets of an unknown city, Google Earth pans skyward between two buildings and spies this thing floating above. It looks like a squid or octopus. The dark figure's details are difficult to make out, but it has two thin limbs, a short abdomen, and a football-shaped head. What is this thing? Is it an extraterrestrial? Is it some creepy kite? Or is it the ocean in the sky? These residents captured an actual witch on camera hovering right in their driveway, shared by YouTuber Madisy ENT. The footage was taken at around 3 in the morning. Watch closely above the vehicle.
Baby. Baby, come on, see. Baby, baby. Babe.
The mysterious being drifts for a moment, and all you can see is its glowing eyes and wild hair, and then it does this.
Nice look.
Whether this was a witch or not, I think it was important to run away. My advice to this YouTuber would be to put as much space between you and this thing as possible. These two videos were taken the same day in Zurich, the largest city in Switzerland. They show a mysterious light repeatedly glowing in a cloud above. The light turns on and shuts off over and over again. The light is seen again from another angle. This time it spreads across in multiple segments, and it appears to be pulsing differently. I tend to agree that they're concert lights, but if I didn't know any better, I think the Swiss are about to be abducted. A paranormal researcher named Eduardo Haunter is exploring an abandoned hospital in the northern part of Mexico City. He gets pretty far and eventually sets up a camera in an old examination room, hoping to record some scary things on video. At 3 a.m., things get pretty weird. An old chair groans under the weight of an apparent ghost doctor sitting down. I don't think this was done with a string either. The top half of the chair moves while the wheels remain stationary. Or perhaps Eduardo simply put the wheels in a locked position first. I'm not sure what to believe. There's arguments for both explanations, so take one last look and help me decide. There's more than evil clowns lurking in our city's storm drains. Published by Night Owl 2007 in October of 2010, these students were exploring the LA sewers when they encountered a sewer monster in the flesh. Arriving at the storm drain at night, the crew climbs down into the tunnel. Their voices echo deep into the sewer, providing an eerie ambiance.
There's a cobweb right there, you see it?
Yes. That's done.
These echoes huge. Jesus. I forgot how scary it was down here. Look, point it down the tunnel. Dude, there's nothing down that tunnel. Wow, I cannot see how far down it goes. I do not want to get raped.
After creeping further into the tunnel, they hear this unnerving growl.
Whoa.
He doesn't hear that thing. Did you hear that?
I for real just heard something.
They decide to crack some glow sticks and throw them ahead into the darkness, but they aren't quite bright enough to see anything. As they prepare a couple more to light the way, one of the crew stands up, and that's when you see this creepy figure behind him. A pale, mask-like face peers over the guy's shoulder.
I don't think you're throwing out enough light here. Here? What the f?
Prompting the cameraman to turn tail and race out of there, leaving his friend to fend for himself alongside Pennywise's more terrifying cousin. Now, he may seem like a bad friend, but let's be real, wouldn't you do the same? A YouTuber named Rose of Decay records a scary Snapchat face swap video that leaves her wondering if she had a real ghost encounter.
Hi. Are you in bed?
What's really creepy is how this mirror image kind of has her eyes, but at the same time they're all black. The bizarre face goes away for a while, and then comes back as soon as she has a question.
Can you talk to me?
This time the apparition has its mouth open wide as if screaming. It's probably just a software glitch detecting a face in the mirror that isn't there, so I don't think it's necessarily real, but I don't see anything that remotely looks like a face, so hey, that's real enough to me. Seeing an alternative version of yourself scream while no one is there is definitely creepy nonetheless. This laboratory is said to be frequented by a spirit who is always near. Here you can see a door pull open by itself with no one standing on the other side. Just in case you were thinking someone could have opened it off camera, here's the same event from another angle, this time taken from the other side. No one is nearby, otherwise they would have cast a shadow on the wall, or else be visible in the reflection of the clean lab floor. Unless this door is controlled by a button we can't see, then there should be no way for it to open by itself. So what do you think? Is this real or just a staged video cooked up by a bored scientist at work? This home inspector wasn't expecting to find this. Published by Cleveland Marco in July of 2011. The inspector is at this residence and explains that a former resident is said to have passed away in her sleep there and that her ghost remains. As he's explaining that the ghost is said to enjoy walking around and opening doors in the home, a door opposite slams open by itself. This surprises them all.
And she likes to open doors, and she says, well, they say that doors open by themselves. No way!
They try it again. The inspector opens a door, and as he does, the door across the room opens as well.
All right, let's do this again. All right, here it goes. Open the door.
That was unbelievable.
No.
This happens 3 times. While some are saying it's the air pressure in the room, others are keener on the ghost story. I definitely think something mysterious is going on in this house. A Reddit user named JMilka7 posted this weird doorbell camera video that she'll never forget anytime soon. I want to say that this is a bug, except it's glowing non-stop and appears to come together and then separate at 1 minute and 22 seconds. According to the accompanying post, this was the endpoint of some long beam of light that scanned his driveway all the way to his door and then back, over and over again, for about an hour between 9:40 and 10:40 at night. From the way she describes it, I wonder if someone had their house in their infrared sights and was waiting to take their lives. YouTube team Procura Sobrenatural is exploring this haunted house. When they encounter something cryptic, see if you can spot it.
Tem alguém aqui?
A dark figure appears in the next room. It's unclear if it's escaping them or watching them. Later, they hear a sharp snapping noise. It's hard to tell what that is. Maybe a shot from a pellet gun? Did this sound come from the dark figure we saw slinking away? I think it's quite possible, which makes me question whether that was a shadow figure or something alive. Can you escape this escape room ghost? YouTube team Ghost Club Paranormal and friends are investigating a Los Angeles-based escape room called The Basement that's been experiencing some serious paranormal activity. Just as Jade is introducing the group, a loud bang resounds in the distance.
What was that again?
The team later finds a doll in the middle of the room that none of them saw there before.
Also, I didn't.
Wait, what? What?
You know what? That's the first thing I looked at.
Wait, it wasn't there.
I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I looked at that. That's the first thing I noticed.
There's supposed to be in there.
Later, they hear a noise above them.
Whoa. I am so on edge.
I know, me too. I feel like I'm in like a real life Scooby-Doo scenario now.
Meanwhile, Kelsey Davies and her team capture an EVP on camera in the next room.
Over here.
Oh.
And later, both Kelsey and Jade see the same entity.
I swear to when we came out, I thought I saw like the back of somebody's...
Yeah, like running.
No, I swear to God, I thought I saw the back of somebody's leg, just like that, right behind the door.
Was it black, like a shadow?
Yeah, it was literally...
Is someone in here playing around with them? Or is there truly something paranormal in this escape room? Whatever's happening in this scary place, I honestly hope they can escape from it. You don't want to hear this whisper at the Whispers Estate. The YouTube channel Crossing Guard Paranormal was visiting the haunted Indiana estate when this happened.
You're sitting the lower here. Let me check it.
The angry EVP sounds like it's saying, "Get out." But the team doesn't listen. This is the end of the clip, so I don't know for certain if they'll live to regret it. All I know for sure is I'm going to stay far away from this haunted estate. Located in Philadelphia, Fort Mifflin is known for its role in the Revolutionary and Civil Wars, and considering this history, it's also said to be haunted. YouTuber Katrina Weidman and her team head there to investigate. Using a photon camera built by Zach, who's an electrical engineer, the team captures movement and sounds inside the fort. This occurred in the Powder magazine. The team says no one was near the place at the time this was captured. A little later, Zach is running a thermal camera outside where he captures this.
I just heard a scream. I don't think that was the girls. I don't know if this is recording audio, but I just heard a scream.
When the team is later all together again, they get a spark on the Tesla coil.
Hey, can you touch that Tesla coil? Or the thing that's making some noise in the middle of the room?
Spark.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know if I see it, but I hear it.
Was this where you stayed during solitary confinement?
To me, this seems like solid evidence to suggest that Fort Mifflin is indeed haunted, and it sounds to me like a former prisoner here continues to live out his afterlife in solitary confinement. Another dog with something to prove, posted to YouTube by It's Just Mars in March of 2012. The uploader writes that her dog does this most nights. The clip shows the dog on high alert for 5 minutes, growling, barking, and whining. At the end of the video, the uploader says that the closet door just opened on its own. The dog appears very upset by this and is pacing around the bed. I really think that the dog was right about everything. There's something unseen in this house. After experiencing a slew of paranormal activity at the Randolph County Asylum in Winchester, Indiana, Billy Gerber, a custodian, began recording every shift. One day he is sweeping the basement when this noise fills the room. Do you believe him after watching this? Also, check out how a shadow passes directly over him as soon as the voice says "help me." It's there for a split second, then gone. Why won't the ghost of this house cross over? YouTuber Eugene from Dark Mystic is here to find out. One of his Steadicams first observes the presence of something here. Soon Eugene hears it himself. Another Steadicam captures mysterious noises in another room, and it appears that something is moving. Later, that something falls to the floor. In that same room, a shadow shifts across the back hallway. Eugene is then given orders by the resident ghost.
Malshi. Nyari.
Eugene doesn't seem to be taking the spirit seriously, but I wouldn't be able to keep quiet either. I'd definitely scream. Two friends think they may have recorded the presence of a spirit when they entered a graveyard late at night. Here's their evidence. Look at the back row of tombstones on the right and focus on the one that's closest to the road.
I only see what's in front of us. We'll turn my show off.
An intense source of light plays over the gravestone. It could be a reflection of their headlights bouncing off some glass, but something seems a little off about the angle. And if this gravestone was not made of glass, then there's absolutely no explanation for this video. Let me know if you think this is real, or if they got fooled by their own car.
I always see what's in front of us. I'll turn my show.
Posted to the r/Chills Narrator subreddit, Nick Chocolate 19 posted 2 videos from the same night on a doorbell cam. The Redditor writes, on January 10th, 2022 at approximately 9 p.m. that night, my family noticed something weird on the doorbell camera. The orb-like item kept coming into view and setting off the security alerts all night long. Any idea what this could have been? An orb can be seen floating on the right-hand side, and it doesn't appear to be going anywhere. The Redditor posted a second video writing, I posted a video yesterday about an orb on my doorbell cam. I'm posting another video because I want to show it couldn't be something like a helicopter. This is from 6:08 a.m. It did this all night from 9 p.m. The fact that the orb was visible all night makes it less likely that it's just a camera glitch in my opinion. What do you think this is? Ever felt like you were being watched? These 3 boys definitely had reason to. Posted by the Comics Man to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the uploader writes, some dudes go to the Danakil Desert or a park. What is in the first frame? The video shows 3 kids getting ready to do some parkour, everyday kid stuff, but not far beyond in the background. Look at what is watching them from a nearby tree. The figure appears like a silhouette and gives off serious Slenderman vibes. The ominous way it's lurking there makes the otherwise innocent parkour video intensely creepy. You can vaguely see the figure again at a distance. At 1 minute and 43 seconds, it continues to stand there in the clump of trees, and again around 3 minutes in. What is this thing? Do these boys have a lurker? Nowhere is safe. This strange and scary reflection looks like someone is staring straight into the window of a YouTuber named Hatchet TV. It's dark outside and there's absolutely no light, so exactly how this reflection is able to appear in the first place is a mystery. Look up close and you can make out an oversized and misshapen head with a large nose and ghoulish frown.
I see it right there. That's crazy. Turn on the light.
At first I thought this video was obviously fake because he was recording his own reflection, but when Hatchet TV turns on the lights and steps back, the face is still there. I have no other explanation besides the paranormal. Ball lightning are luminescent phenomenons usually linked to thunderstorms. The rare anomalies have been recorded throughout history in various sizes, from the size of a pea to several feet wide. The following clip appears to capture this phenomenon. Published to YouTube by Roman Tregubov in August of 2016, the so-called lightning fireball was captured in Russia at the edge of a field. Stormy weather darkens the sky as the fireball moves slowly across the horizon. Surrounded by blue lights, the ball flares up randomly and disappears behind some tall trees, but is still visible beyond. Although some are sure this is ball lightning, YouTuber Jason W suggests an alternative theory in the comments, to which others agree. He writes, "That's an arc of electricity going across two different phases on a power line. Not that weird, but pretty cool to witness as long as you're far away." The Redditor claims that there are no power lines in this area to validate this explanation, but again, it's hard to tell from this distance. What do you think? Do you agree with Roman or Jason? Either way, this brilliant ball of light would be a crazy sight to encounter. Published by Diane Frazier. This paranormal team spent some time with the Shadow Man. In their communication with him, he revealed he lost his wife and blamed himself for her passing, saying he felt like he had a hole in his heart.
How are you feeling about us coming here to talk to you? Does that make you happy?
Why?
The team captured two photographs which they have interpreted. This one is the Shadow Man, revealing the hole in his heart from losing his wife. The second, they believe, shows the couple reunited and entering into the beyond together. Are these interpretations correct? Did the Shadow Man and his beloved wife reunite? This is the story I want to believe, and to me, the photographs do look quite convincing. What do you think? Well, in this haunted hotel of horrors, YouTube team Paranormal Quest gets what they came for: history and horror. This 19th century hotel in the Wild West was home to a hidden business on the upper floor, and now it's home to ghosts. Pretty soon, they start hearing things.
Connor, come down here for a second.
I just heard something over here, though. It could be the wind outside, but there was like one little noise over here.
Let's see if the mic caught anything.
There was not even you when you were just.
Whoa.
There's definitely something there. The guys feel cold spots in one of the hallways.
It's got real cold right here, right?
It did.
Yeah, it was not nearly this cold. Right now, it's like freezing right over here.
Yeah. I don't see how there could be a draft right here.
Using a device to speak to the spirits, they receive confirmation that there's evil here.
You're in my hand.
Demon.
Even more unsettling messages follow.
Can you do me a favor? Can you...
Doom.
What is it? Let's just say doom.
Purgatory.
What? It's a doom of purgatory.
Not satisfied with just speaking, the spirits start touching them.
Whoa. Oh my standing still, my sweatshirt just got tugged. Behind, yeah, my sweatshirt got tugged.
Are the guys just feeling a touch of nerves in this spooky place? I doubt it's just that, and I do think this tour turned up enough paranormal evidence to warrant further investigation. This creepy paranormal video is believed to be somewhere from Russia. A man cautiously crosses his child's room late at night, clearly frightened by something scary enough that he wants it caught on camera for the world to see. He closes a window that he doesn't remember opening. It's here, he's sure of it. If he keeps waiting, it will be caught on camera. Scary moments are ahead. A pale figure claws at the glass. The sighting of a ghost in the window makes him drop the camera shortly after the apparition is caught on tape. The video is decent quality, but the ghost is low resolution, so I'm not sure if this ghost video is real. Take a closer look and tell me if you think this paranormal video is real or not. Published by Dark Ghost Paranormal in August of 2021, Dennis set up cameras in a bunker hidden beneath a school, and this abandoned bunker in Germany has some mysteries up its sleeve. One camera captures a door slowly opening. In another room in the school above, Dennis asks for a sign that someone's here, and this is the response.
Знак, если надо где-то еще искать.
In the bunker, a blast makes Dennis jump. It sounds like it's coming from this box. Later, the light from his camera shuts off, and he's left in the darkness. Through the spirit box, the spirits tell him it's a trap. Strange carnival-like music seems to be coming from the spirit box. As Dennis's lights continue to malfunction, he has no escape. The door to the room is locked, and he can't get it open. He is in the darkness again with only a lighter to keep him company, while something unknown growls from the shadows. Later, he is told through the spirit box not to come. He finds the previously locked door mysteriously open to him. After racing out of there with his equipment, we can only imagine that he heeded the spirit's advice and never returned, which is a smart call. Is one of America's greatest presidents still roaming the earth? YouTuber Soul Searching thinks so. She visited President Lincoln's tomb at the Oak Ridge Cemetery in Springfield, Illinois. The place is said to be haunted. Let's see if it is. Right away, Shannon gets a response to her inquiries.
Walk up to me. Oh, I heard a noise. Was that you, Mr. Lincoln? I heard a noise.
When she asks the spirit to knock,
can you knock on this? There we go.
It answers a moment later. Unless there's construction going on inside the tomb, I don't know what would explain the knocking in response. My thoughts are that Lincoln's spirit remains here. Is this a magic trick or a paranormal being? Shared by YouTube channel Kisa Weba, this video is currently trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. I was unable to track down the original source. A man is driving down a dark road when suddenly a nightmarish creature stands blocking his path. I'm not sure I would have honked at the hooded figure. I definitely wouldn't have gotten out of the car, but this man does. When he approaches the figure and asks it to move, he attempts to pull off its sheet, but he soon regrets it. How did this robed figure hold its form? Where did it disappear to? If this is any kind of magic, I think it's the dark kind. When in Kentucky, Bobby Mackey's is a must on your pit stop through Wilder, as the honky tonk place is often called the most haunted nightclub in America. And here's video to prove it. Posted by 303 Paranormal TV to the Chills Narrator subreddit. He writes, a few clips of some paranormal evidence caught on my channel. The footage was taken at Bobby Mackey's, which according to legend, has been the site of both life takings, takings of own lives, and of course hauntings. Folklore claims there's a gateway inside Bobby Mackey's, and it's haunted by the ghosts of people who passed away on site and nearby. One of the purported ghosts is that of Pearl Bryan, whose body was found around 2 miles away. According to some, those responsible put a curse on the site and said that they would haunt those who persecuted the case. Of course, all these claims are unsubstantiated. Pearl Bryan's life-taking is sadly true. No public records have been found to confirm Bobby Mackey's had any part in it, nor has the location's historical background regarding any other supernatural claims been verified. Regardless, some have captured paranormal experiences on tape at the site, including this video of a shadow figure moving across the wall in the empty club. Is there some truth in urban legends? Is this video proof of at least some unearthly presence here? I think I'd be too scared to ever find out for myself. Picture this, it's early morning when you hear this outside your window. Published by Golfwagon in April of 2020. What would you think if this was your morning greeting? The repeated noise coming from a distance sounds like a mysterious metallic roar. It continues for nearly the entire length of the 2-minute video. The sounds don't seem to be happening at the same interval, so that makes some in the comments think its source is not, in fact, mechanical. Many commenters from all over the world, from Serbia to Indonesia to South Korea, claim to have heard similar sounds. Some believe it's atmospheric, others think it's sonar, and still others say it sounds like a living thing. Do you think it's a sign of the end of times? If so, you'd better hope you're prepared. A YouTuber named Victor Poulin suspects that something is wrong with this plane, and I need your help to come to a reasonable conclusion. The plane looks completely normal until approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds into the video, when a bright red tint forms along the edges seen here. The change in color could be from the way the sun hits the aircraft, but that still doesn't explain how the plane seems to break up into multiple parts. Then again, maybe it's just his unsteady camera.
Now see how it almost looks like it changed shape? There's lights all in different places.
Victor Poulin is convinced that the plane is some kind of holograph, but I think it's pretty unlikely, because I've never heard of anything like that before. Still, what do you think the real explanation is? Or do you think his assumption is correct? There's nowhere to escape when you're on a haunted island. The Hype Mike crew soon realizes that not only can't they escape, but something is in the house with them.
tell you're there's someone in the house right now.
They discover the front door open.
We left the door open, right? Did we leave the door open?
Like I feel like we would have closed that, no?
At least the wooden door too, you know?
Then they see something truly terrifying outside.
What clock? Making my flashlight.
Hello? Who's that?
What's that?
What was that? The guys describe the creature.
Something outside, dude. There's like a thing. It had like, its face was all like.
I couldn't. Something was over his face. I don't know if it was like a mask or something, but
yeah,
something was over his face, and he had like a.
Outside, they hear a call in the wilderness.
Like a heartbeat. Yeah. Yep. Right there.
And as they continue on, they get closer to it.
Shh. What was that? Wow. We're definitely getting closer. Like really close.
And they get even closer.
Oh my. That's thick. I thought it was another one of those skull things. I think we should try to find its base camp. Is that?
Until they find its base camp.
It's another one of those skulls.
Within its house. Hello?
Is this creature watching them? It seems to have left some sort of warning on the ground.
What is that? Is that a wagon? Stop.
Yo. What the f?
Disgusting. What is that?
And amongst the brambles of the creature's base camp, they find this.
Jesse?
What?
Look at this. You can call.
Where you get out of here?
Arriving at the water's edge, they see this.
What the guys? Bro, we gotta go.
I think he's right. They've gotta go. Wouldn't you? I sure would. Who's there? Your worst nightmare. Posted by Deadhead Gillies to the Ghosts subreddit. The Redditor says there's something knocking in the walls, and we don't have to take her word for it because she has video proof. It sounds like someone is knocking insistently at the door, only there's no one there. She says this has continued for 2 months. She's not the only one to have had such an experience. Redditor Ritual Maniac writes in the comments that the same knocking pattern occurred at a house she once lived in, along with other paranormal happenings like voices, doors opening, running, etc. When they moved, everything, including the nightmares and unexplainable bad feelings, all vanished. The Redditor says this knocking wasn't heard initially and just started happening randomly as of late. At one point when her boyfriend lived there, he even heard laughing and whispering. The Redditor said after sending the videos to her grandmother, a pastor was supposed to come and visit, but of course an ongoing event began earlier this year and prevented that. Some in the comments think it's the pipes, others say it's likely a pesky animal, but myself and many others are leaning towards the paranormal. Game of Onions writes, let him in already, must be cramped in there, but I wouldn't take that advice. A paranormal channel called Love to Investigate has one of the creepiest ghost videos ever, a sighting that looks real and must have been terrifying for them to have caught on camera.
I don't like looking miniature curtains, that just creeps me right out. The bathroom again, What's pretty cool, Alice?
They are exploring a haunted mental asylum when the spirit of a former patient glares at them from the hallway. When they look up, it's leaving as she makes a comment about the smell.
What's pretty cool, Alice? Smells like an ox done in this path, definitely.
The apparition has long black braids and wears a long dress that women had to wear at the mental asylum long ago. The paranormal investigator later comments that they had no idea they were being watched by the supernatural at the time. Had they known, they would have ran away in the opposite direction. Humans aren't the only beings with the apparent ability to teleport. Published by The Buzz in January of 2015, this mysterious video appears to show a canine teleportation. The video, filmed during a street race on an empty motorway in Chile, shows a dog suddenly materializing out of nowhere. In the clip, two cars speed down the track. As the camera swings after them, following the race, a dog suddenly appears in their wake, crossing the road. In slow motion, the dog appears out of thin air in the middle of the road, somehow avoiding the two cars, neither of which budge at all in their straight shot down the track. Did this dog teleport here, as many in the comments seem to believe? Whether or not he did, I think Pog Squatch sums up our sentiment. Scotty needs to be more careful when he beams you down. That was too close for comfort.
Rocking chairs moving on tune.
This YouTuber's house is so haunted. His possessions act possessed even when brought outside. Take this rocking chair for example, which he records moving on its own.
Not really that windy.
When he looks around at 1 minute and 20 seconds, you can see the flowers and trees are still. Nothing is blowing in the wind because there is no wind. Yet he makes a request to move the chair again. The ghost tilts the chair forward one time to confirm that yes, it is in fact there and fully aware.
Can you rock it some more?
Yes,
we got a visitor.
A ghost hunting crew called the Singapore Paranormal Investigators go exploring the abandoned Bucket Brown Cemetery. Constructed in 1922, this is one of the largest burial grounds in the entire country. So if any place were to be haunted, it would be here. They light candles to attract spirits and soon read an energy spike on their paranormal equipment. They take a picture of the darkness ahead and think they've caught something paranormal in the shape of a glowing orb. I played this part in slow motion and discovered this strange orb is really a street sign reflecting the flash of the camera. I don't think they were purposefully faking this part and probably thought it was real paranormal evidence at the time because they were scared. The ghost meter swirls with another buildup of paranormal energy, and a solid black orb comes out of the equipment, or more likely an insect. Later that night, they think they see something fly over the candles in the area. I don't see anything here, but maybe you do. Their camera stops working shortly after they see it, so maybe there was a ghost after all. This is one for the books. Published by ABCD in April of 2009, this phantom was reportedly captured in Bangalore. The scary clip shows a semi-transparent woman emerging from a wall. With long dark hair and dressed in white, the apparition glides across the floor, traveling straight through all objects around her, including a gate, before disappearing out of frame. What do you think of this full-bodied apparition? I'm just gonna put it out there. It's one of the realest looking ghosts I've ever seen. Have you ever got the feeling that you're being followed? Poppy's Paradise posted this footage to Reddit writing, "Something is following me." The guy in the clip says he was driving when he noticed something outside in the darkness. He stopped his car on the side of the road to film whatever it is, and he shouts a greeting to the figure outside the window.
There's something up here. Hello?
As he drives slowly past, the something that he saw following him comes into view. The figure looks like a girl straight out of The Ring, dressed in white with long black hair. The ghastly creature is seen only for a moment before the clip ends. Is this thing truly following him? We can only hope this was his only sighting. You would need serious courage to stay calm in a situation like this. Do you feel like someone's pursuing you? Then you should probably trust your gut. Published to YouTube by Upbeat Yamaha in February of 2019. This video follows a motorcyclist minding his own business on the open road. Wearing a GoPro, he manages to capture a white truck in front of him. Nothing out of the ordinary. Ahead, the truck pulls over to the side of the road. This too appears innocent enough, but after passing the white truck and later taking a turn onto a side street, seeing the truck continue along, you probably wouldn't expect what comes next. The biker returns to the main road, and the same white truck now a ways ahead pulls over again, letting him pass a second time. The biker starts to wonder what's going on. Even more worrisome, he thinks the truck is following him. He suspects the driver might be trying to record his license plate to report him for something, although he says he hasn't done anything to report. He again pulls over at an intersection and attempts to wait out the suspect, who has stopped as well. The biker says the man in the truck is attempting to wave him on. After a brief face-off, the biker turns to the left, noting the guy's plate number and saying he was taking pictures of him. While the video doesn't come to any concrete conclusion about what the white truck wanted, the biker suspects that he's dealt with the same man before. Some in the comments think it's probably just some angry boomer who's mad about how loud the bike is. Others advise that if this happens again, to pull into a fire station, as they most certainly will help someone being followed. A cautionary tale if there ever was one. For all we know, this lurker could have had even more sinister motives. On a trip to Thailand, YouTuber D-Doc Michael skipped the beaches and instead spent his holiday exploring this intensely haunted house. Upon entering, he hears whispers. He continues his exploration but is scared off by another voice. Still, he stays. As his search goes on, he hears another noise.
Who are you?
And at last, he sees what's making it. The stranger in the abandoned place is ready to throw down.
What? Who are you? Hey! What?
Michael runs off, thankfully escaping unharmed. To me, this just goes to show that live humans are often scarier than spirits. A woman is practicing a presentation while her friend films, but they both become distracted by the poltergeist in the room. TikToker Real Scary Video shares this footage.
1, 2, 3, go. Okay na? Now that I have introduced myself to the patient, verified the client's... Now that I have introduced myself to the patient, explain the procedure.
First, the light flickers.
Verify the client's identity and provide...
Ano ito?
Sige pa, sige na.
Then something disturbs the closet.
Now that I have introduced myself to the patient...
While we can't see what made the noise, I'm pretty sure whatever it was lost its patience. Talk about a non-supportive ghost.
Ano ito?
Sige na. Ito. 1, 2, 3, go. Now that I have introduced myself to the patient,
A YouTuber named Mark Grillo catches a complete and total stranger poking around his front porch for no apparent reason. She doesn't even try to knock or anything. Take a look at what she's carrying here and tell me what you think is inside. It almost looks like it could be a cardboard container from a restaurant or something, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, you can't stand. Yeah, I can't stand.
You can't see in, the woman says twice while trying to peer through a window. 2 other people stand at the bottom of the steps waiting for her, and they all walk off together. Exactly what this woman is trying to see is unknown, but it's definitely creepy how she struts around like she owns the place. The group seems to be wearing nice clothes, and I doubt she is trying to break in, especially since her hands are full, which only makes this video all the more bizarre. Overall, I have no idea what these strangers could possibly want, or why they thought this was a socially acceptable thing to do. So there's a YouTube channel called EB30X Fitness, 34 videos, 1-year-old account. Not exactly the first place you'd go looking for paranormal content, but there's one creepy workout video they can't explain.
5, 6, 7. Did anybody see that orb fly behind Karen?
Aura.
Anybody see that orb?
A wavy light goes over his client, and he puts everything on hold to point it out. Honestly, it looks like a bug to me. He says it's a ghost caught on film though. I don't think they're doing this for publicity. It has less than 1,000 views, and their fitness studio Facebook page in Illinois already has 300,000 followers, so I think he's being sincere when he says it's a ghost orb. What do you think about this paranormal activity? It's pretty creepy, but like I said, maybe a bug. Breaking into a vehicle under the cover of darkness is common. Doing it directly in front of the car's owner, not so much. Published by Doorbell News in October of 2021, this crazy thief must have been seriously desperate. A woman is sitting outside her home in Phoenix, Arizona, talking on her phone as a toddler toddles around, doing baby things. While chatting, she looks up from her phone to find a man breaking into her friend Bubba's vehicle right in front of the house.
Hey! What are you doing? Bubba, is that...
The entire creepy event was captured on a Ring doorbell camera. You can vaguely see the man's white shirt as he approaches and then breaks into the vehicle. He didn't technically have to break anything as the car was open. The woman alerts her friend inside, who rushes out to see what's going on.
Can I pull you back? Hey!
The guard dog sets off a 12-bark alarm. Thankfully, the man wasn't able to take off in the vehicle before the police were called. In the description, the woman notes that he was taken into police custody. Definitely one for the books in my opinion. You don't see this every day. If you've ever had an attic, then you know what it's like to hear any kind of sound emanating from above. Absolutely freaking terrifying. YouTuber Sean Wells 2001 seems to agree, as he decided to investigate the rattling in his attic, which he says only happens at night. Sean writes, "Steven, my roommate, says it's the wind because I leave my windows cracked at night for fresh air, but not sure if it's the wind." Sean set up his camera in his closet atop a pile of jeans to catch the rattling while he slept. This is what happened. At around 4 a.m., the attic door starts rattling jarringly. It sounds like someone is trying to get out. You can actually see the door move aggressively and repeatedly. A while later, it happens again, and Sean notes that you can hear his dog whining in the background. Many in the comments think the source of the noise has got to be paranormal. Others consider that it might be a squatter trying to mess with the homeowners. Though different theories abound, most can agree on one thing: it's not the wind. Here's the spirit hiding, posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Leonardo DeFuzzy. This ghost hunter is about to find out. After hearing noise in an adjacent room of this abandoned home, the ghost hunter ventures inside, and then this happens. Something is behind this locked door trying to get out.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق هذا كيف
The ghost hunter moves forward and pulls the door open, but there's nothing inside. He steps further in, and despite the fact that there's no one there, even more poltergeist activity happens.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Scaring him out of the room. He returns only for the same thing to happen again.
ايش هذا حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل
As many in the comments note, this video is from YouTuber Adventure Allah, and most agree that it's one of the most realistic hauntings they've seen. Is it real, or just all camera angles? Redditor Nav in Person has another theory. They wrote, it's just the house settling. I think we can all agree that the other explanation is a tad more exciting. Solo ambush goes to a haunted shack that's been abandoned in the jungle. The place is haunted by two evil shamans, conjoined twins connected at the hip. Solo ambush is ready to live up to his reputation and confront them both on live stream. He finds odd evidence in the pages of an old book that could be paranormal incantations of some kind. Tell me what he says here, and anything you can about what's written in the book.
So ini adalah salah satu daripadanya. Okay, berbahasa Siam. Aku akan bawa balik buku ini ya.
I'm especially interested in what this page says. It has a picture of the world on it and a list. He stares at this page for the longest of all. For some reason, he lights 5 candles in the attic and says something to the shaman.
Okay, sila keluar. Aku cabar segala jin, kadam, pesuruh, dukun.
Maybe it has to do with what he just read. Whatever he recites, it works. Notice how the shadows start moving when the noise begins, and how they stop moving when the noise ends. Final analysis: these scary moments caught on livestream video are paranormal and creepy beyond belief. It's like the ghost is walking right up and standing over him. It looks like Solo Ambush is the one getting ambushed this time. Security cameras often capture things we'd rather not see. This footage, posted by Redditor JHood3119, reveals a creepy looking creature ambling in the vicinity of this upstate New York security camera. A friend installed a security camera because his dog kept freaking out for no reason, JHood writes. And it seems the dog was freaking out for a reason. As you can see, a figure passes into view, moving strangely and seemingly wearing a headlamp and holding a flashlight. But then halfway across the snow-packed yard, the figure completely vanishes, although a flashlight beam still appears at the right side of the screen. What could this be? Well, some in the comments of this thread consider the possibility of the supernatural, saying the figure's strange walking and eye shine is creepy and inhuman. but others are not having it. Human or paranormal, what do you think? Based on the dog's reaction, there's definitely something there. These paranormal investigators use a flashlight to communicate with their ghostly counterparts. Published by Mackie and Amanda in April of 2022, the pair explore the haunted Cosmopolitan Hotel in San Diego. The girls talk to the spirits in the hotel, requesting that they interact with this dangling string, and the spirits respond.
Just touch that string one time.
Did you see that? And if you're watching it, because I'm watching you hold the things completely still, I watched like how far it was going up against the line, you know? It definitely moved further.
It looked like someone touched the string about a foot up.
I don't understand. There's no way.
Either.
Later, while sitting in bed, they hear repeated noises. They check to see if someone is walking outside on the balcony, but no one's there.
Oh, God. Oh.
Cheers, Ed. Oh. There's someone. No.
There's no one here, Amanda.
I haven't seen really anyone at this place.
I haven't either.
Then the water starts to drip in the bathroom, and it continues to sound like someone is in their room.
I think room 11 was the one that they... I
think someone's in here.
They ask the spirits to turn the flashlight off and then back on. After asking the spirits to repeat this act, the flashlight turns off and the REM pod in the bathroom goes off as well.
Can you turn the flashlight off? All the way, completely off.
The spirits continue communicating with the girls through the flashlight. They find out that they're speaking to a ghost named Isadora. She confirms it's her through the REM pod.
Okay, wait. Isadora, if that's you, okay? I was gonna say, can you go over to that REM pod we have in the bathroom?
That red light.
That red light that was just beeping. Can you make it start going off again? Can you make it start beeping?
We'll give you like 15 seconds. So she said yes.
Oh my God.
The correspondence continues for a long while, with Isadora being very communicative. Mackie and Amanda return to talk to her later.
I feel like no one's here. Isadora?
Wow, look at that. What is that?
Wait, what is that? What's shaking?
They check out early because they're understandably creeped out. It sounds like there's many unseen residents of this hotel, and they're not leaving anytime soon. Imagine playing hide and seek with a mysterious cult. Published by Lego Papa TV in March of 2020. This scary video shows a cultish encounter at a house where lives were taken. Lego arrives at the house that he plans to explore on this fateful night. It looks 100% haunted. He tours the house, arriving at a bathroom in which he says the 71-year-old woman who lived here would take the lives of her victims. He says she buried them in her backyard. As he's about to head upstairs, he hears something, but he assumes it was just animals.
Yeah, it's not something. Probably animals, because it's how I poop here.
Once he gets up there, though, he hears more noise.
Hello?
While using the spirit box on his phone to try and communicate with the passed away in the bathroom, he sees a flashlight beam hit the wall. When he turns around, he sees many beams of light, and he thinks it could be police, other urban explorers, or maybe something even more nefarious. So he rushes upstairs and hides in another bathroom. Shortly after, he sees flashlight beams on the wall and hears footsteps. They apparently don't see him. After waiting in the darkness for a time, he sneaks downstairs, and while in the basement, he hears more evidence that he's not alone in the house. Footsteps sound on the floor above. He gets out of there as quickly as possible and does manage to escape. When finally safely outside, he turns back to look at the house. They are looking for him, whoever they are. Lego writes, "This is probably the scariest moment of my life. I have no doubt about that." The Wild Boar Hotel is located in the middle of nowhere, and the YouTube team, the Ouija brothers, are traveling there to investigate. Outside, one of their camera lights immediately starts acting up. When they break out the K2 inside, they quickly get a response.
If you can hear me, can you stop and walk away from the device in the middle of the room? Fuck me, it's mad today.
Is that a song?
This continues until they turn the device off. Later, they hear a light tap.
So new.
And then a not so light one.
We can call it finish if you want.
Did you touch that bar then?
I did not.
There's something going on.
I did hear that though. I thought that was you.
They ask the spirit a question, and it seems to respond.
Do you like the sound of my voice?
Oh.
If so, can you knock?
Either this old abandoned hotel is extra creaky, or there's something walking the halls here. I wouldn't want to stick around to find out which it is. On February 5th, 2002, Robert Picton was taken into custody by a Vancouver police task force who had found personal items on his pig farm from a woman who had disappeared. There were no other clues aside from the missing belongings, such as a prescription inhaler and other items. In other words, enough evidence to hold him, but not enough for a solid conviction. Prosecutors needed more evidence, so on February 23rd, 2002, they sent one of their best undercover officers to pose as an inmate to try to get Robert to confess his actions. Robert hadn't had a friend in a long time and was more than willing to swap stories with what he thought was a fellow like-minded psycho. What he revealed was absolutely horrifying. The undercover officer leads the conversation by saying the ocean is the best way to get rid of the past away. Roberts is quick to correct him.
I find the best way to solve something is making the ocean deeper than that.
With CCTV cameras rolling overhead, the undercover officer gets Robert Picton to admit something he had not said to the detective in years. The reason they weren't able to find any of the passed away was because he had put them through meat processing equipment and most likely fed them to his pigs. When the undercover agent tries to get him to say more about what he's done, Robert gives us a glimpse into what a person like him thinks of the people whose lives he's taken. What's most terrifying of all about this is how they were nothing more to him than a number. He sees no individuality, nothing to make them human or set them apart. They are all the same to him, a number that he wants to make even for his own selfish satisfaction. Robert Picton might have gotten away with all 50 acts, if not for the self-incriminating testimony, which was used against him. On December 11th, 2007, he was sentenced to life behind bars. He decided not to make a statement upon being sentenced. I guess he felt like he had already said enough. A YouTuber named The Real JP is renovating an old cellar when he notices something weird on the wall. A big bat flies straight at my face, he later writes. This large pipe is the only thing that keeps the bat from getting on him when it leaps from the wall.
I do not know where he went.
Hopefully it went out the cellar door. Brian Wood is not home when somebody he doesn't know decides to enter his home in Belen, New Mexico. All he can do is watch helplessly as they violate his home, walking out with item after item of things he's worked hard for. Knowing the police are on the way gives Brian some relief, but it doesn't do much good when somebody enters the same room as your pets and you have no idea what they intend to do to them. The intruder doesn't seem to care about his cat. He's done this many times before and is so at ease that he makes a phone call when he walks around a stranger's home talking to someone about the items he's taking while ransacking drawers and jacket pockets. By the time he's through, he's standing right in front of a security camera. He doesn't even seem fazed or worried about getting caught as he palms it and leaves. Cops arrived minutes too late, but he was caught the next day. He makes no attempt to conceal his face or fingerprints, so I'm not surprised. If Brian didn't have this creepy encounter recorded on live stream, it would have been a lot harder. YouTuber Gregor Wilk braves one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin in this spooky video. One of the most interesting finds he has there is this strange orb flickering in the darkness. Watch closely. In another shot, he captures a ghostly apparition. Watch to the left amongst the trees. Here's a closer look. Some in the comments say they've had a similar experience at Sanitarium Hill. Well, from this distance, I'd say you can't really tell if this is a ghost or not. This was filmed at around 2 a.m., so the idea that someone was out walking in the darkness of night is pretty creepy in and of itself. This Ukrainian dashcam captures one of the highest resolution highway ghost encounters I have ever seen. Watch this part and tell me what is being said here if possible. I would really like to have a legitimate translation of this potentially supernatural message. The driver speeds off after she falls back and disappears. It does not stop until they are back to civilization. This professional quality of this video makes me wonder if this is from a European movie or television show. If not, it almost looks like a well-constructed hologram. I could find no other source for this video, so be sure to let me know if this is amateur footage or something from mainstream media. The Sonora Inn was built in 1896 and is infamously haunted by many a spirit. Thomas writes that he worked night shift there in 2018 as he was setting up for breakfast at 5 a.m. This is what was captured on security camera. Watch the bowl he places on the counter in the top right corner. Let's see it again. Do you believe in this dining room poltergeist? I feel it might be a case of the wet surface of the bowl acting as a lubricant. After all, he did say it was a bowl of ice, but that's just my theory. What do you think? A YouTuber named Alone in the Dark takes a 2-hour tour of a haunted hospital that has been out of commission for a long time. He repeatedly hears noises and gets signs that he is not alone. Like here, for example, when you can see a light appear out of nowhere in response to his voice.
Seems I hear ringing.
At one point on an upper floor, he finds a long streak of dried red liquid running down the wall from a nearby ceiling vent. It almost looks like someone was grabbed from above by something terribly strong and pulled up into the ventilation duct, where they met a horrible fate. Something else strange about this video is how all of the cabinet doors that he passes by seem to be flung open. Cabinets opening by themselves is a classic sign of a haunting, so take that for what you will. When he is finally ready to leave, the paranormal events really pick up in ways you'll never guess.
There's a lot more going on in this thing.
First, he hears an ambulance pull up to the defunct hospital, and then he sees shimmering lights on the ground. It could just be broken glass reflecting into the beam of his flashlight, but then again, it could be a paranormal energy signature. Either way, the timing of the ambulance siren is too much of a coincidence for me to believe this was anything normal. If you heard this sound in the middle of nowhere, what would you do? Instagram account Cryptid University posts this video taken at a borrowed cabin in the middle of the forest. Listen closely. I don't know about you, but I got absolute chills from this audio. Listen again. Is this a skinwalker? I think it might be, and if so, it's actually closer than we think. It's a little past 3 a.m. when Braden Lee hears objects falling over and strange noises coming from within the wall. The situation sounds like it could be paranormal until he turns the lights on and sees this small but scary creature perched in the corner of the room. Now it's time for his dad to get the creature out of his home and into the night. The bat has been flying everywhere, and he only has a few moments to act before it goes airborne again, so he has no choice but to put on some gloves and catch the creature. And it's all caught on tape to make for a scary 3 a.m. video indeed. He lets out a terrified scream and fumbles the bat before recovering and taking it outside. I'm glad that everyone is alright and that it didn't land on his face or anything, because it definitely would have defended itself, and there's no telling where that creature has been or what it has.
What's good? Trace, am I a hero or what?
YouTubers Gankwa P are playing the Ouija board in a different form, using a glass in place of a planchette.
The
glass starts moving on its own, then something screeches overhead. They think it's an owl. Shortly after, one of the group feels something behind him.
Hey.
And as they all start to feel that the spirit was angry, this happens. I don't think that this can be fabricated. I think this video is real, and it is terrifying. What is the #1 destination to dispose of an object that's ended a life? In a river, of course. Posted to TikTok by Julian Stevens. This scary video leaves us wondering if that's exactly what happened here. The TikToker spotted a blade at the bottom of the waterway. Zooming in, you can see it's clearly a large kitchen blade. Zooming out again, you can see it's clearly in the middle of a creepy wooded area. Many in the comments suggest calling the cops. That seems like a fair assessment to me. There are mysterious happenings that can be explained, and others to which there is no answer. Guess which one this mystery is? Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by EBB Puzzleheaded and originally published to YouTube by Daniel Robb in May of 2020. These screams in the Texan night sky are sure to set your hair on end. In the clip, the uploader explains that there's a sound in the distance, screaming that seems to be coming from the sky, and you can regularly hear the eerie screech off and on for nearly 8 minutes.
What is that bizarre sound?
The uploader Daniel Robb says this happened between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. and that it sounded like a banshee, followed by several voices whooping. He says the sound filled the entire night sky. Others in the comments agree that it's demonic or banshee-esque, citing the end of times. Redditor I Have No Purpose in Life notes that the screams occur alongside the lightning strikes and wonders if they might be interconnected. I guess we may never know the actual answer. A ghost has no use for a haircut, but apparently that doesn't stop one from haunting a famous barbershop called GQ Cuts in La Puente, California. Caught on security cam is a ghostly guest slipping under a blue gown.
Like that says move. Like that says move. I'm not gonna bring up that right there says move.
Everyone, even the woman getting her hair cut, is nervously looking at the chair, waiting for it to move again, which it doesn't. But hold on, nobody sees the scariest moment of all on the shelf above them.
Like that says move. Like that says move. I'm not gonna bring up.
A creepy mannequin head turns towards him while he tries to tell everyone what he saw. Thankfully, the moving objects were caught on tape to prove him right. Then again, it could be this fan on full speed that's blowing objects around. You're not going to want to open your kitchen cupboard after seeing this. TikToker Haunted TikToker shares this video of a creepy cupboard creature in Brazil.
Já vi isso aí pra filmar. Ó. Tremendo, velho. Tô sozinho em casa aqui, gente. Escutei um barulho aqui no fundo aqui quando eu vi isso aqui, lá debaixo do tanque aqui de lavar roupa. E eu peguei e fechei logo, botei aqui o...
As the guy explains, he heard a strange noise coming from this cupboard and now is holding the creature hostage with a broom. What do you think it could be? Now it's time for the big reveal.
E até que eu pensei que poderia ser um gambá, mas não é não, quer ver, ó? Viu? Presta atenção, lá no fundo, lá no fundo vai ter o pequenininho que tá chorando, tá aqui atrás da porta aqui, ó. Olha, ó. Olha, ó. Esse aí, ó.
It's not just one creature, it's two of them. Some in the comments think they know what they are. While the eyes do look owlish to me, the one on the left looks like it has antennas. In my opinion, this is something extraterrestrial. This footage captured some bizarre unidentified flying objects over Mexico City in May of 2009. Let's take a look.
Vamos a ver las mismas imágenes, Pedro, pero en cámara lenta. Mira, ahí podemos ver algo que tú no viste en primera instancia. Decenas de esferas que van saliendo en ambas direcciones.
The orderly linear lights disperse. From there, things get chaotic.
El objeto como da de vueltas. Luego, estas como llegan a darle, mira, aquí en cámara lenta las vemos. Caramba, hombre. Una de ellas, vea, usted le da la vuelta completa y se va, ¿no? Evidentemente que es un...
Still, they seem to be traveling in sync. A closer look shows they're blazing. Then they get lost in the clouds.
Salen esas cantidades de esferas, no, la verdad ya es otra cuestión, ¿no? Ya dices, caray, esto sí me dejó también así como a ti, impactado, ¿no?
Mira, lo más extraordinario para mí, bueno, tuviste suerte al grabar.
Soon they're back in an orderly line again.
Te bajas del camión, lo sigues, lo tomas. Mira nada más. Mira qué imágenes, caramba. Y es en ambas direcciones. Entonces nadie puede decir que es un racimo de globos que se va deshaciendo. Salen en ambas direcciones.
Well, some say this is an optical illusion. Others call it the best UFO evidence they've ever seen. I also think it's quite compelling. It looks like a mothership hatching smaller aircraft. Mustafa Sven is one of the very few brave paranormal exploration channels from Iraq, and he is definitely one of the best. Let's check out a 24-hour challenge he took at a scary haunted abandoned house that he's always been afraid to go exploring. It isn't long until paranormal entities come wailing for him, and all of the creepiness is caught on video with 2 different cameras. It starts with little things that are quite weird, like a shadow moving strangely in the hall behind him. I mean, yeah, I guess it could just be his hand, but the shadow doesn't exactly follow his movements, and I don't know, the angles just don't match up. Then, shortly after the spooky shadow passes by, more weird things are caught on camera. The backpack is actually very well balanced and should not tip over, and it bothers him that it does. He tries to recreate the situation and cannot. Scary noises aside, the backpack is far from the only objects caught on camera moving by itself on this haunted night. A stone silently dislodges from the mantelpiece and crashes to the ground, followed by another one. The poltergeist is pulling this house apart brick by brick, willing to do whatever it takes to scare this ghost hunter away. A padlock bounces on its own like a ghost is trying to open the door. Watch closely and tell me if you think this is a poltergeist or someone on the other end of the door poking through the crack with a stick. But just when I was beginning to think this video might not be paranormal, it becomes one of the creepiest videos I've seen in a long time. A rising wail of spirits closing in makes him realize this 24-hour challenge needs to be cut about 20 hours short, and so he finally leaves. This video is believed to have happened sometime in 2001. A person is walking around what looks like to be an old basement when they think they notice something on the floor.
What the hell's that? That on the floor. Right there.
The footage is too grainy to see, but I think he may have been looking at a shoe, or even the top of someone's head coming out from just behind the door. Suddenly, he looks up and sees some sort of white apparition glaring back at him with lifeless glowing eyes. I guess that it could just be someone who is dressed up, but there's something about his reaction that seems genuine. Paranormal investigator Rochelle G goes exploring this haunted abandoned house and experiences what she calls decades of anger. Built in 1920, this place could never keep a family for more than a few years before something terrible happened to them. Police were always involved. Something about this house makes people upset, volatile. The longer they stay here, the worse it gets. Rochelle can feel the paranormal energy is as soon as she sets foot within this haunted place. Abandoned are the families, but not their memories or their presence. She finds a room that's creepier than the others, one that's been barricaded from the inside. Listen closely. What you're about to hear is one of the scariest EVPs ever caught on camera. Somebody has pushed a dresser under the knob of this door, like they wanted to keep a family member from coming in to get them. When Rochelle opens the door, a creepy, disembodied voice floats in her ear and whispers, "Hey." This room looks like a remodeled front porch that was only halfway finished before the family vacated. Above her is an unfinished attic space that makes many people feel creeped out. There's no way to get up there, so she keeps exploring this room and finds more creepy things caught on camera. Dozens of family photos next to an old blue chair. Leaving family photos is weird enough, but why in a giant unorganized pile? It looks like somebody thumbed through them one by one while sitting on the chair, perhaps looking at pictures of their family members one last time while waiting for the police to arrive. It's a creepy thought and we'll never know the real explanation. And when Rochelle tries to communicate, the spirits are too angry to cooperate.
Do you need help?
If this video is real, and I think it is, then this is one haunted abandoned house that should have stayed hidden. I doubt anything good happens to those who dare go exploring its hateful walls. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by a sleepad8673, this redditor wrote, Randonautica at its finest. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Oh, it smells horrible. Oh, yeah. It's in the middle of the woods.
So the keys have to be in the
Yeah.
kitchen, right?
Yeah. The lights came on.
It appears this redditor stumbled upon a creepy abandoned car in the middle of nowhere with the help of Randonautica. In the comments, Chi Jojo said, "This is like the third Randonautica video I've seen of cars being abandoned in the middle of the woods. One had a child's voice coming out of nowhere saying, 'Do you want to play?' Strange indeed." To which the redditor who found this car replied, "I'm so glad there's no audible EVPs asking me if I want to play, especially a child's voice. For some reason, that's even creepier. Somebody on Reddit helped me get the VIN number and ran it. Came back with an alert for a reported stolen vehicle. So it appears this abandoned car was stolen. Now the question on my mind is, who took the car and left it here?" Based out of the southern city of D'Armondville, Exploring Alabama is a YouTube channel that takes on the creepiest abandoned places in the entire state. One such video is an abandoned church that's in the early stages of decay. Inside is a mess, but still structurally sound. Some rooms are too dark and creepy for him to willingly go into, so he mostly stays in the more well-lit areas and continues to explore until he gets his share of footage. As he's leaving, something compels him to take one last look in the main room, and that's when he records it. Some are calling this a mysterious creature, while others say this is only a stray cat and nothing more. It's too far away to tell for certain, but I think it's interesting and worth talking about. So what do you think? It's well documented that creatures in the deep ocean are mysterious and terrifying, but will not often cross paths with such creatures due to the depths they inhabit. However, rarely do we imagine what the muddy waters of our rivers are hiding. Published by Kiwi TV on YouTube in April of 2016, this river in China is hiding something frightening. Marine life life that looks partly hippo, partly dolphin, partly crocodile, and wholly terrifying was caught on camera while being poked and prodded by a garden tool. The large river-dwelling creature doesn't move much while being examined, nor does it appear to see much, as it seems not to have eyes. An anonymous YouTuber suggests it's a type of river dolphin. However, it doesn't look much like the baji, a river dolphin that was believed to have gone extinct in the early 2000s. While that sighting was not altogether confirmed, this additional footage may suggest the aquatic mammal is, in fact, alive, though the population has been shrinking since the 80s. The baji appear to have a longer and narrower bill, while this strange one caught in this video features a wider bill, no eyes, and lots of body splotches and patches. Is this a deformed baji? If not the baji, what other type of aquatic creature might this be? YouTube team, The New Reality Paranormal is investigating a haunted general store, and inside they hear and see some unexplained things. First, as they enter, footsteps are heard.
It just said wave.
And right after, a voice.
Okay, said rat.
Yeah? Now you're calling names or what? Resorting to calling people names? Was that a voice?
I swear that was a voice.
Is somebody in here? It seems like it to me, especially after seeing this white orb drift past just as Sean says he's feeling nauseous.
Like, I almost feel nauseous.
Whoa.
The back of my neck is...
No, dude, I am catching it on film right now.
I think there's a reason Sean is queasy. A spirit just traveled straight through him. This extreme close-up of the moon captures an unknown object floating at what appears to be mere meters over the celestial body. Alexi_N shares this mysterious footage with the YouTube community. Can you guess what it is? In fact, it looks like something drifts down toward the moon from the floating object. Folks in the comments have some wild theories. Are extraterrestrials refueling on the moon, as some suggest? It's possible, but I think it could also be the International Space Station. Although the ISS is only 250 miles from the Earth, while the moon is 230,000 miles. In photographs, the ISS often looks much closer to the moon than it actually is. But even if it is the ISS, that doesn't really explain the object that appears to be traveling toward the moon from it. Additionally, the uploader has CGI videos on their channel. This one isn't marked as such, but there is still the possibility this is special effects. Share what you think in the comments. I'm torn on this one. Believe it or not, this doll is scarier than she looks. Published by Road to X in November of 2020. They encounter this creepy doll directly upon entering, covered in red. Let's hope that's paint. And then this happens. After they're running away as fast as they can from the demon doll, they realize the presence is still with them. It makes itself known via the EMF meter. Has whatever possessed that doll latched onto them? Time to call an exorcist. This bizarre home CCTV video reveals a scary moment when a mysterious shadow figure creeps across someone's front yard, moving down into the right and running along the length of their fence. I guess it could be a bug flying by, but the way it comes from around the house and continues through the yard is the same path a person would take on foot. The person who took this video thinks it's probably a shadow figure, and after reviewing the paranormal evidence, I believe him. This witch is up to no good. Published by Zona Paranormal Veracruz in December of 2021. This scary video starts with a flash. While in this graveyard, the man appears to have happened upon a ritual being performed.
Por Dios. No puedo prender la linterna, no puedo prender nada.
A figure is speaking and making this fire come to life. Later, amongst the mausoleums, the man hears that strange voice again in the darkness. Followed shortly by a high-pitched, sing-song voice. The man then falls forward hard, pushed by an unseen force. He sees a ghostly figure from a distance approaching him. And then it's too close for comfort. The fire is blazing again, and upon approaching the fading flames, the cameraman sees a witchy woman hunched over departing.
Señora, solo vengo a explorar, no vengo a hacer daño. Allá adentro una sombra, allá adentro una sombra, allá adentro.
What sort of ritual was this witch performing? This cameraman might find out in his days to come. With the video title, Doberman vs. Mailman, I think we're all expecting there's a dog at this street address who is really tired of seeing this mailman, and today it's going to deliver him a final message of its own to stay away. The mailman slowly approaches. Clearly, he's dealt with this Doberman before, but as the Doberman isn't doing the same slow approach, he quickly turns around and is soon being chased, running for his life. The dog catches up quickly and appears to snatch something from him and heads back to the house. The mailman's demeanor switches from terrified to looking like he's having a fun time, so maybe he was in on this from the start, or maybe he's happy the Doberman didn't try to snatch an arm or leg instead. A group of friends are poking around just outside of the legal limits of Area 51 when they make a strange discovery. At first, the creature appears to blend in with the scenery, but look closely and you can make out a long head and a curly tail.
What is that, dude? Just change it. Yes. Look at this, dude. Look.
The creature stands up and appears to turn towards them. It must have a very good sense of hearing because its body language suggests that it has been startled by them. Suddenly, it disappears in a thin lay of bright white light, never to be seen again. If aliens can escape this easily, it's no wonder why they have rarely been filmed. Another explanation for this video, of course, is the possibility of CGI. 9 out of 10 people do not immediately notice what's wrong with this handshake, so allow me to show you where to look. Trust me, you'll be sorry that I did.
Give me your hand.
I like cake, I just don't like the icing on it.
That's my main.
This is someone's right hand, and yet they're on the left side. Also, look at their fingernails. They're facing the wrong way. How can this be? The answer isn't pretty. The condition is called hypermobility. Though the phrase double-jointed is commonly used, it's mostly genetic, meaning you are either born with this unusually large range of movement or not. Only 20% of people have it, though typically not to this degree, and there's no way for the rest of us to gain this talent, if you want to call it that, so don't even try to practice. Like most people, watching this video makes me feel like my fingers are going to fall off. Tell me if you would be able to shake the hand of someone with hypermobility while they were doing this. I mean, it's creepy, but also kind of cool. After entering a creepy forest to search out a haunted mansion deep within, YouTube team Ghost Theory finds it, but it may not be empty.
Did you hear that?
Who's that?
Straight away. someone walking around. We see this every night. It's odd.
In an upstairs room, they hear something else.
That complex or anything, it's just weird.
I am on edge, but
something just knocked the stairs.
Yeah.
They head to the stairs to check it out.
Hello?
Why?
Hello?
As they move downstairs, this happens.
I was right behind me though. It's just the wind. It's just the wind. But it was such a force right behind me. Like a loud noise.
They ask the spirits to react and they follow through.
Can you make a sound? Can you throw something or show yourself if you're with us?
Later, another clanking sound is heard. Some light taps follow.
So there's little taps there.
In another stairwell, Elliot hears something that Joe doesn't, but then they both hear it.
I just heard something like...
Here it is again.
I've just heard something like...
I think this is enough evidence to confirm this mansion is haunted, but the spirits here seem too shy to reveal themselves. Imagine something is chasing you through a maze, only you cannot see it. One of my favorite paranormal teams, Joe and Elliot of Ghost Theory, investigates this poltergeist labyrinth, a house full of sound and fury. Upon first entering, they start hearing noises.
Well, it's from my right, so it's down that way. Of course it is. And that just looks haunting.
It does. Hello?
You can hear some creaking, but is it just the house settling, or is someone there? They think it's just the wind until this happens.
Take my light. Where's my back?
They start to hear banging around, and then they hear voices.
Is there someone in them? What the yonder?
You can clearly hear movement in the darkness.
Where's my back?
They are capturing some cinematics before leaving when some of the loudest activity occurs. There's some conflicting thoughts about this video in the comments. Some believe that all the noises you're hearing are poltergeist activity. Others think there were intruders on site. Either way, my fear is running hot on this one. You might consider calling the cops on the intruder trespassing on your property at night, but when it turns out to be this woman, maybe you should call a ghost hunter instead. Posted to Twitter by Daniela Guerrero, she writes in Spanish, "Okay, my parents have a security company, and how about the officials of a condominium have just passed them a heavy video of what happened last night. The video shows a large yard with a small pool. In the distance, a woman dressed in white crosses the property. She has dark hair and moves steadily forward until she's closer to the camera. She strides across, clearly on a mission, and that mission is to evaporate in plain sight. The phantom trespasser disappears into the night as she rounds a corner. What does she want here? And where did she go? All questions and no answers. Perhaps that's what we're supposed to have. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Altruistic Shoe 2593. He titled this video, Strange Object Above the Sky. Let's watch.
Oh dear. I just saw something top right there. What's that?
I can certainly see what he's talking about, but the question remains, what is this thing? Let me know what you think it is in the comments. If you do a seance in a haunted home, expect the spirits to come out to play. Published by Ali H in March of 2022, something is wreaking havoc in this haunted house. After seeing this unexplained mess in their kitchen, this couple was left wondering who is responsible.
I closed the gate. Close the gate. I closed the gate.
Maybe it's this weeping spirit. Do you hear that? Later, Ali is in another room of the home when a loud thud sounds from the next room. He goes to check it out and finds the spirits have made another tornado of a mess.
Owner.
He tries to communicate with the poltergeist through a spirit box, and as he's recording, the spirit pulls up a chair.
Oh my.
Later, Ali hears someone or something coming up the stairs. Are the spirits gathering round? It certainly seems like it. With her camera recording, a girl kneels before a darkened doorway and challenges a spirit to touch her. A light passes over the room and her hair is brushed over her shoulder as if someone is passing through. I find this video hard to believe because that definitely looks like a flashlight coming from the other room, based on the way it hits the wall beside her in a concentrated circular beam. With that said, it still doesn't explain how her hair moved with no one nearby. Let me know if this effect is possible to do in Photoshop, or whether or not you think this is real. If it is real, then I have no idea why she would want to summon something so powerful in her own home. If you find yourself being chased while in an abandoned building, the best step is to leave. Instead, this man found himself stalked into a corner. Published in November of 2021 by Paranormal My, demons instantly make their presence known in this creepy abandoned building. As the cameraman is gazing up at the multi-storied complex, glass is heard breaking off to the side. He goes to investigate but finds nothing. In the stairwell, another loud noise is heard up above. It's not clear where the noises are coming from, but it certainly makes the neon green lit stairwell even more ominous. As the night grows darker, something throws a bunch of torn up sheets from an upper floor. A creepy being dressed in white and with bleach white hair is seen above. It peers down at the cameraman for a moment but then pulls out of view. Who knows what this entity's intentions may be? Later, while in another dark stairwell, footsteps are heard down below ascending. The cameraman captures a shot of the lower floors, and a scary obscure shadow can be seen on the landings below, making its way upwards. The footsteps become louder and more rapid, giving everyone, except apparently the cameraman, the ultimate chills. As our hearts beat faster and faster, at last, there's a shot of the culprit. It looks like a man without a shirt, wearing white pants. He's holding a flashlight, though likely not paranormal. There's something even creepier about the scary stalker. stalker because, as we all know, running into a stranger can end up much worse than running into a ghost. This paranormal activity was caught on a camera that's displaying an incorrect time. A YouTuber named For Your Viewing Pleasure thinks they have caught a ghost on video sometime around 3 a.m., not 1:24 like the camera says. Regardless, some creepy moments have been caught on tape as their home CCTV system plays back a bizarre ghost-like in front of the camera. Another thing that's weird besides the ghost is how the background goes totally black for 6 seconds and then even stays black for 1 second after the ghost is no longer caught on tape. For Your Viewing Pleasure says they hope this is a bug, even though they think it's probably paranormal. One person suggested that he has not caught a ghost sighting on video, but a moth instead. These creepy moments caught on camera from 2 to 4 seconds do look like possible wings in motion when slowed down, but I'm not sure what to think. Both sides have good arguments, so take one final look and tell me if this looks like a paranormal security video to you or not. Okay, here's a weird one. The closet door in this bedroom keeps opening by itself, but before I even get into that, look what happens with the lamp. Somehow the bulb becomes extremely bright and goes back to normal despite lacking a dimmer switch. After that, the closet door swings open seemingly all by itself. Tell me if you see any signs of human interference here, because I see none whatsoever.
There it goes. And as you can see, there's nothing there.
I thought they were using a hook or something on the bottom right to pull the door open, but when I watched again I saw it was just a power strip running to the lamp. If anything, the door actually moves the strip out of the way, not the other way around. The closet looks too full to hold another item, but who knows what else was in there staring at them from the other side. Have you ever gotten physically ill from watching paranormal footage? Redditor Minimum Session 4039 has, and this is the piece that made them sick.
Been doing this all morning and I don't have time for this today. Stop. Hey buddy, I got too much going on. You gotta cut it out. Oh. Okay.
After setting the camera down, the activity only gets creepier.
I am sick. You gotta go, or you guys want us here, or something. Wherever you can go, you gotta go. Calm down.
You can see a distinct shadow figure standing halfway down the stairs. This is clearly the culprit who's opening and shutting the door.
He's okay. Please, not today. Just, holy cow.
There is definitely a ghost that likes mischief. I don't think this is at the level of burn the house down yet, but I would be keeping an eye on this playful phantom. Mysterious, unexplained lights were recently sighted over Brazil, just north of Rio de Janeiro. The diagonal formation of strange lights stretches into the night sky and blinks in and out of sight. It's not a constellation because there are no stars in the sky, just these strange, unexplained lights that slowly move to the right and glow a fierce red when the camera zooms in. As the camera moves across the city to show there are no stars, they see more strange lights in the sky. These ones closer to Earth, a large column of lights at 56 seconds that should not be there at all. It looks like it could be a building, but according to them it's not. More lights seem to drop and lower to the ground, but it's too far away to tell. When he zooms out, he is surprised to find most of the skylights are already gone. This happened on June 24th of 2020, and if you're wondering why it was never reported on the news, maybe it's because we were never supposed to find out. A YouTuber called Bangladesh Ghost Hunter, together with his trusty dog Thomas, go exploring abandoned houses and other fabled haunted places deep in the woods. One of their freakier finds takes place at night deep in the woods, where scary things are caught on camera, beginning with a scream.
এবং আপনার ওয়েট এই জন্য কিন্তু থমাস কোথায় দেখো তো
As they strain into the darkness, a large number of weird things are caught on camera that deserve further analysis.
ওখানে কিছু আছে, ঠিক আছে, এই জন্য কিন্তু থমাস কোথায় দেখো তো ছিল, মানে হা করে সেই ধোয়াগুলো খাচ্ছিল। থমাস থমাস
Watch this part beginning at 5 minutes and 39 seconds and see how much paranormal activity you can see in 15 seconds.
যখন আলাদা করতে চেয়েছিল, তো তখন কিন্তু আমি কাছে ছিলাম, তখন আর কি পরিস্থিতি হয়েছিল সেটা যদি একটু বল।
Okay, at 5 minutes and 40 seconds, a strange yellow orb glances across the camera and goes away. 2 seconds later, he turns his head as this pink aura is caught on camera that may or may not be the cameraman's finger, but in that moment, a strange wispy mist rains down on him that he can't see. 20 minutes and 40 seconds is when they finally see it. A form between two trees in the shape of a person. The flashlight chances upon it for but a brief moment and then it's gone. But it's still there watching them, of that I am sure. Ghost Hunter Emax has some of the creepiest videos in the small but growing Japanese ghost hunter community. Videos with scary moments like this one that will haunt you for a long time. He's exploring an abandoned hospital when he senses something paranormal is near, a ghost in the same hallway.
なんかいる感じするもんね。今ね、したりしたんだが、最低みたい。あっ。デフィアイのこっちに動いたんだよな。
It's just there 1 second at 10 minutes 16 seconds, and within 2 seconds it's being pushed back 3 feet into the closet. Did he really see a wheelchair move by itself while exploring a haunted hospital, or did someone pull it from off camera? The video looks convincing, but I guess we'll never know. Is this Tinkerbell? Redditor FlickMe666 would like to put their friend's mind at ease. The Redditor's friend captured this strange figure on their CCTV, and although they initially thought it was a bug, its glow looks pretty intense. The Redditor asks other Redditors what they think it might be, and they have answers. But Redditor Corbin Kangaroo has probably the most logical answer. The more I look at it, the more I think this is probably on the right track, but I'm still hoping it's Tinkerbell. An ownerless shadow is in this alley. Moments later, a motorbike moves all by itself for almost 10 seconds before dropping hard. This incident is being mislabeled as a paranormal video as far as I'm concerned. Here's why. A strong wind blows through this drafty alley, so maybe a gust of wind popped up the kickstand and sent the bike in motion. Likewise, the shadow could be a result of this thing flapping overhead. Overall, I'm 50-50 on the legitimacy of this creepy moment, so help me decide if this bizarre street cam video is really paranormal. Here's another video from the mysterious Menjur Hotel. A woman is bored and giving a brief tour of her room when suddenly a paranormal presence makes itself known.
Hello? Mike?
She waits for a tense moment, hoping that her boyfriend Mike is playing a prank nearby. When nobody answers her, she bravely opens the door and looks into the other room. Here's what she finds.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Something has dumped all of her possessions onto the floor in a quick fit of rage. While it's possible that she could have done this herself, it's also quite possible that this really was a paranormal encounter, especially when you consider that fires, missing things, and other strange happenings have become the norm over the years at this hotel, which was also built over the famous Alamo battle site. If you're hunting for Jinn, you better be prepared. YouTube team HD Adam Paranormal searches for the creatures in this paranormal home, and they find them. The radio first signals that a being stands in this corner. As they continue around the haunted home, they encounter this shadow figure. The shadow disappears, so they try to speak to the spirit. That's when they hear this.
Burada olduğumu farkındayım. Duyuyor musun?
Duyuyorum abi.
İnşallah arkadaşlar mikrofona bu ses geliyordur.
They hear unexplained banging as they search the place.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Gel lan dur. Gel buraya. Gel buraya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Another bang, and then their sound goes out. Later, a strange rolling sound is heard.
Şuraya.
Yalnız.
And something seems to be playing around with them.
Ya abi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Duydun mu sesi? Duydum.
Maybe it's this.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Devam gidin.
Was this figure behind all of this paranormal activity? I'm of the opinion that there are multiple jinn active here. This creepy abandoned house is one of the most haunted places in the UK, and you're about to find out why. YouTube team, the Ouija brothers, investigate. As they approach the home, they think someone is there.
Thought I seen something up in the top window then.
You might have.
Oh God.
Because the door's locked. What's that?
I honestly thought I seen something up in the window.
They continue inside, and Carl thinks he sees something.
Whoa! Oh. Car.
No. Really? Run. It just says run on mine.
That message is chilling. In another hallway, they hear two distinct taps.
Cough.
They hear another unexplained noise next.
You hear that?
I didn't.
It's okay.
In your room?
It's just in front of me, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't make a noise. I'll check back on that.
And another.
Oh, so? So here.
You were, mate. It sounded like something coming from a cupboard.
There's a... Or?
I'm not sure if any of this was actual proof that the place is haunted, but I do think these mysterious sounds, coupled with what the guys saw here, may warrant further investigation. Chameo, New Mexico is where you'll find the famous Ghost Garage, a paranormal hotspot along the highway where a ghost or two just might climb into your car. This person thinks they have a real paranormal video of a spirit caught on tape in this video. I kind of see what he's talking about, but you really must pay attention, or you'll miss both of these two ghost sightings. Do you see their faces? I think I might. Then again, I would like to see the original video without the filter. Only then will we know what these bizarre figures truly are. Alyssa the Explorer rents a cabin in the woods, one that apparently has an extra guest inside.
This place is so cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
What the somebody in there with you?
Something scary passes by, a ghost in the window behind her, or perhaps some kind of hunched over figure in robes. I really hope this is computer effects, because if not, she needs to climb out that window fast. Look out the window between the blinds to see what Laurie Smith claims she sees every night, the fearsome cryptid known only as the Dog Man. Laurie's fearless cat always looks out the window when it comes around, ready to take the Dog Man head on, unafraid to stare back into its glowing yellow eyes. Alright, I will admit that I was 100% ready to disprove this video. I knew that this was just the mirror image of the cat's eyes reflecting back due to a weird camera angle. But then I got to this part at 1 minute and 55 seconds and knew I was wrong. Watch very closely. She gets the cat's attention. The cat's head turns.
Kitty, come here, Kiki girl.
1 second later, at 1 minute and 56 seconds, the cat is looking the other way, and yet the eye remains staring straight ahead. This footage was taken at the Chapelfield Mall in Norwich, UK. The mall is closed when a mysterious red balloon makes an appearance out of nowhere. As you watch this balloon float around on its own, keep in mind that the air conditioning was off, the escalator was off, and there is supposedly no wind blowing in from the outside. If all of this is true, then how exactly did the balloon move without any air currents? Even more bizarre is how the balloon stays low to the ground the entire time, almost at the height of a child. Could this balloon simply be half deflated, or is it being held by a youthful spirit? A YouTube channel called DYP Official finds some kind of abandoned facility way out of the woods. One climbs to the top of a big blue container and sticks their head over the end, which is scary for reasons I'll get back to soon enough. Two other large vats grab their attention.
Found a whole thing of sulfuric acid in the woods. Sulfuric acid. Yo, please stop, bro, please.
He would have kept turning the release valve had they both not shouted at him to stop. I don't know if it was full, but if so, he would have been in deep trouble and might not have survived an acid spray. In the shed, they find a gas mask and large science beakers used to hold chemicals. One of the vials is still full, so they take it outside for a better look until their friend grabs it from them.
Boom!
Luckily for them, it doesn't break. Breathing in any unknown chemical, whether indoors or outdoors, could end up with them on the floor. Inside of an abandoned building, they find a label that got me curious. I googled what polyseed inoculum is, and the answer sheds light on what this facility really is. Basically, this is used to break down biological waste. They've been playing around in a biological waste treatment center the whole time, touching things that ordinarily require a full biohazard suit to handle. Whatever chemicals they were handling probably were not safe, and the air quality can't be much better. The type of place that could really mess you up after maybe a few visits. In other words, certainly not a place where you'd ever want to stick your face over an old chemical vat and take a big whiff. A supposedly real ghost sighting was caught on dashcam video by VBO Life while exploring one of the most haunted places in Delhi. It happens fast, so watch closely or you'll miss the scary stuff. An apparition appears in front of them and they get freaked out, or so it seems. Slow it down and at 8 minutes and 22 seconds you'll see the spirit is supposed to be in front of the car, but the very bottom of its dress accidentally clips into the hood. So while this video's creepy, I can also safely say it's not real. Timothy Bartlett is exploring a water park that's haunted by a former guest named Billy.
Hi, is anybody here? Hi, Billy. I'm here.
Things are about to get real creepy real fast. Watch.
Could you move something again for me? Oh. Holy sh**.
A chair moves on its own accord upon Timothy's request for Billy the Ghost to move an object and prove himself to be real. Paranormal activity is possible, but the low quality resolution could easily hide a string if there was one. This was not done on purpose as the resolution is average quality for a 2012 phone camera video, so maybe it's real. At this abandoned psychiatric hospital, YouTuber Alberto Del Arco and his team are being watched.
Vete a la mierda, güey. ¿Oyeron? ¡Ey, ey, ey, ey! ¡Cabrón, cabrón! ¿Quién anda ahí? Güey, se vio como se vio.
But what they're being watched by, they're not so sure. As they continue, something is thrown at them.
Como una monja enorme.
Oh, no mames.
Ve, algo arriba cayó. Algo arriba. ¿Te pegó a ti? Sí, cayó de arriba, güey. Cayó de arriba, güey. Cayó de arriba.
Did it fall, or was it thrown? It looked like it was thrown to me. As they continue through the place, they hear an EVP, and they see a shadow.
Hey, hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey.
Silencio, silencio.
Hey, busca allá, güey. No vayan a salirnos por allá, güey.
Escuchemos, escuchemos, escuchemos.
Later, they hear something more.
Otra vez, lo quité ya.
Apágale, apágale, apágale. Hey.
It sounded to me like someone crying out in the darkness. Is there someone living in this horrid place? Or is this a cry of pain from the beyond? I don't know for sure, but this place ultimately feels haunting. What do you make of this terrifying creature? Shared by YouTuber Johnny Reyes Reyes. This image is trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. The demon-like creature at the center of this mysterious image somehow also looks slightly reptilian. It appears to have webbed feet and a tail. Using reverse image search, I scoured for the original source but didn't arrive at any leads. Do you know this demon? If you do, please share in the comments. I've gotta hear his creepy backstory. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.